edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, here after another long week in sports. Here to wrap it up, talk about it. It's a lot going on as usual. I can't do this alone. We're running a three-man weave tonight. Got the Mad Producer Podcast Poppy in the building.
I was told that we missed Dylan's trivia, and who knows? Maybe when we have a light sports week, we just have a whole episode dedicated to trivia. Who knows?
And my man Breezy's in the building.
A whole episode, huh? That's how you're gonna try to prove a point?
Mike misses it. Does he miss it that bad? Who knows?
Oh my God. What's up, go people?
How are we doing, fellas? It's been a week. It's been an interesting week.
It's been an interesting week. Got to enjoy a little bit of relaxation time after the holiday, and refresh my batteries a little bit. And we're here. We're ready to go before I have to do it all over again in like 2 weeks. Because I got Camila's birthday in a couple weeks, then Krima. So it's a big time. Best time of the year.
It is the most wonderful time of the year, I guess. Did you see what I did there?
Some would say. I would say.
I would say too. James wouldn't say because he's a Grinch.
I'm not a Grinch. I just think people rush Thanksgiving too quick.
It's over. So.
Says the man with his Christmas tree up.
I mean, it went up after Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Proving our point.
Too quick.
No. Dylan pulls down Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving Day has even come.
I had to this year. That one wasn't my decision. I tried to wait.
You do it every year.
No, I've only done it once.
It's not a coincidence.
I've only done it once.
Uh-huh.
This year wasn't mine because I wanted to do it after Thanksgiving, but we had too many people here, and Janice didn't want to decorate while our house was filled. So we did it the week before. Was I against it? No.
Of course not, because that's what you normally do.
Because we love Krima. But we've grown to appreciate Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I enjoy cooking for people. So it's just,
I was about to say, it's
because
because you like to cook.
Yes.
It's because you like to cook. But we are here. We're back. Let's get into it. Let's get into some basketball. Those Warriors. It is it's a little shaky over there in the Bay right now. I don't even know if we call it the Bay since they're in San Francisco, but whatever.
It's the Bay. It's still the Bay.
It's still the Bay. It's still Draymond Green because fresh off of a 5-game suspension for putting the $1 million dream on Rudy Gobert. Draymond comes back. They're playing the Kings, which is turned into a little rivalry here. Which I kind of like.
Should have been a rivalry.
I like it. The Kings are feisty. They want the smoke. And the Warriors don't like Sabonis. They just do not like him.
Draymond was. I'll never forget Draymond in the playoffs stomping a mud hole in his ass.
Yes, stomping
Stone
him.
Cold Steve Austin style.
And then mad because he got suspended. Yes, that's not a good look.
No, he didn't. It wasn't on purpose. Stop it.
It wasn't.
Yeah, let's not do this again.
It wasn't.
Stomped on that man.
Mike watches basketball.
Stomped on
purposefully
that man.
Trying to fuck with us. That's what I think Mike does. He watches basketball to gaslight us, James.
He doesn't know ball.
You know who agreed with me? The NBA, because they suspended his ass.
No, they would have had to suspend him because he has a reputation.
Dylan, you called the wrong person Uncle Ruckus. That's why.
Play the music, Mike.
Play it. Play the music, Michael. Dylan, hey Dylan.
Yep. On it. I'm on it. Yeah, find it. Unless Mike is just trying to delete it right away.
No, it's there.
Mike, tell us about how Draymond stomped a mud hole in DeMontis Sabonis.
Mm-hmm. Tell us how Jokic didn't wrap his arm on with Kawhi Leonard.
Tell us about how there aren't enough shoes for the white man that are being sold in for basketball. Why?
I don't know.
Who's the last white man to have a basketball shoe?
Okay.
Does he have a basketball shoe, or is it just PEs?
That is a PE.
Damn, Mike, you're looking real crazy right now.
Nonetheless, Draymond stomped on that man.
Isn't his favorite player in the league Luka too?
Tell us how he was fine with Kyrie's money getting taken away, while he's okay with Giddey's salary not being taken away because he thinks that'll be wrong. Tell us.
I mean, we will talk about Giddey tonight. We can get into it. So you think he should be suspended? You think he should be suspended? That's what you're saying.
No. I'm talking about the point.
No.
I'm talking about the point you made. I don't care.
The point I made was that he should not lose any money because that is equivalent to a suspension.
Because he's the white man.
So
he was fine.
So I was fine with him not playing.
And but not getting paid.
I'm sorry. Is Kyrie accused of rape? Did I miss that story?
Hold on. Josh Giddey is not accused of rape. Josh Giddey is not accused of rape. That is not true.
Look at that.
Mike does not speak for the podcast when he says
if we find out that these allegations are true, is that or is that not rape?
It's not. It depends on what law they're trying to uphold, because if it's Oklahoma, it's not.
It's California, but California's age of consent to 18, but at the time of all that, he was younger. So we also don't know anything about this young girl.
No, we don't.
And they're not cooperating.
If it's true.
But the way the NBA is handling this,
equivalate what Kyrie did to a guy what he's going through is not.
You are
the.
I talked about
you said it.
No, Dylan, what did I do? I talked about a specific point in the argument, which was him and his salary.
Yeah, Mike, you did make it a point to say he shouldn't lose any pay.
Yeah.
Yes, because he shouldn't be suspended.
If you're not playing, well, it's not really a suspension. It's like the NFL's exempt list.
If you can't play and you can't get paid, you're suspended.
No,
it's not true.
So
is he going to get the money back?
No, but again, it's not a suspension. It could be like the NFL's commissioner's exempt list, where you're not suspended. You just can't play until it's done.
Was Draymond suspended when he took some time away from the team?
I don't know, because the Warriors did that in-house. I think he was suspended.
He was not suspended. That would have came.
Did he get paid? I don't know if he was paid.
It would have came out if he was suspended.
Was he paid?
He had to be paid because they don't get paid. They don't get paid by the game in the NBA. So if he wasn't suspended, he got paid.
So if he didn't get paid, he would have been suspended.
He got paid because it wasn't out that he got suspended, because those are public things that they have to say. They have to tell you if a player is suspended.
We are playing word games.
No, that's a specific. If a player is suspended, the league has to release that as a presser saying that they were suspended.
I'm not arguing.
And what they came out and said is that he's away from the team.
Not arguing that with you.
Yes, you are.
I'm asking you, if you are forced to be away from the team and you are not getting paid, is that not being suspended? Is he not getting that money?
Adding more words to it now? Is he not changing the words now?
Well, so
I said the same thing.
Let's do it this way, because John Morant. Let's do it this way. John Morant was away from the team when they were doing their investigation. Go back,
you'll see that you didn't say that the first time.
So let's do it this way. John Morant, when they were first doing the investigation last year, was away from the team without pay, not as a suspension. After they went through the investigation and found out what it was, they then used that time that he was away from the team to then say it was a suspension. But this is, you can do it that way, where you can take time away and not have it be a suspension until after the investigation.
That means he was suspended, right, Dylan?
No, it does not. It just means, hey, we're going to send you home. We'll wait for the investigation.
So what you're
Turns out
telling me
investigation's
is
cool, we'll pay you. If the investigation is bad, you're just going to stay suspended, and we'll just use part of the time you were away as part of your suspension.
Because it's an investigation. It's not a suspension.
Yes.
So you guys are being literal. That's what you know.
But that's what happened.
Oh my
so if the John Morant thing came out and he was not suspended, they would have to pay him.
Yes.
Exactly.
You just don't get paid right away because the investigation.
The fact that he did not get paid means he was in fact suspended.
No.
He was in fact suspended because they turned out the investigation led to a suspension.
Yes.
That's why he was suspended. If the investigation would have led to him not being suspended, he would have gotten paid.
He would have gotten his money back and he would not be suspended.
But that time in between is a waiting period.
It's an investigation.
It's the investigation.
You guys
period.
are conflating what I'm saying. It is the same thing. You guys are arguing that because at the time that he is away from the team, that he's not suspended. I'm saying it's the same thing. He's not getting paid. He's not getting paid. So if you get arrested, let's use, and this is an example. This is going to be an example.
And don't say anything, Dylan. Let him finish it out.
Let's use Tory Lanez. Tory was arrested. While I don't know if he was in jail while the trial was going on. But let's just, if you are in jail while the trial and the investigation is going on, and then you are found guilty, is that not considered time served?
No.
So how do you get that? So explain time served to me then.
That's not considered as time served.
Explain the time served concept to me then. You're in jail while this stuff is going on, and then they just add that time that you were away to your already sentence. So now it's all one sentence, and you didn't do that for nothing because you are being penalized.
I have time served ready for you, sir. In typical criminal law, time served is an informal term. So you're giving me the definition. You were asked what time served is. I can't speak to this, so I can only give you this.
Okay, what is it?
Okay. In typical criminal law, time served is an informal term that describes the duration of pretrial detention, the time period between when a defendant is arrested and when they are convicted. Time served does not include time served on bail, but only during incarceration, and can range from days to, in rare cases, years. So I believe that means if you are detained during a trial, that counts as time served.
Okay. I was wrong.
That's why it's like I brought it up because I can't speak to it. I didn't answer that question, but I can bring this to help bring clarity. Michael, not just trying to be Captain Literal, man. Like you thought I was trying to be. In this case, it helped you. So fuck you, Mike.
So, but my point is, if we find out that this girl is 22 or whatever, I don't know, that she's legal, so that he did nothing wrong, and he's away from the team, like they pull him off the court. They need to pull him off the court because it's a bad look for him to be out there.
Yes, it's a terrible look because the NBA looks crazy for just letting this guy play.
It's a bad look. Him getting booed every time he touched the ball in Minnesota is wild because they don't do that in Minnesota. So
it's nasty work to have that man play while this is everywhere. They should just be like, not even just for the NBA's sake, just like, hey, lay low for a little bit. Yeah. You got some shit going on, because if anything of these allegations come to light to be factual, you're in a very difficult spot. Very, very difficult spot.
We are having a whole nother conversation.
That's why I want to be very careful with what we say.
that's why you pull him off the court, he can get paid because there's no proof that he's done anything wrong. So that's why I feel like you can't just take him off the court and take his money for something you have no proof of. Just because Twitter said so. That's fine. That's fine.
But that's what we're saying.
No, I asked that. I said, well, does he get the money back?
I
If
said
he gets
yes.
the money, if he gets the money back, I have, and then don't give it back to me. That's a suspension. You suspended him because he doesn't get paid and he can't play. That's what that is.
I think it just has to be a withholding period where it's like, hey, we're I guess we would just be like, hey, just chill at home. Since we're sending you away, we have to withhold your pay because you're being investigated by police. And then we will, after the investigation, whether you come back or not, determine from there.
See where you're at. And that's I have no problem with it.
And I don't think that's a suspension. That's just a, hey, you're being investigated. And I think they should actually do something called or literally just be like, hey, investigation process, you're exempt. Like, we'll just put you to the side, just like the NFL has it, where you don't get suspended, you get put on the commissioner's exempt list while they investigate. That's what they should have. The problem is, literally, opening night in the NBA, Charles asked Adam Silver what he plans to do about the punishments and all stuff for domestic violence and all that stuff. We didn't think there was going to be anything involving minors with 21-year-old men, but you have a guy who literally we have proof beat the dog shit out of the mother of his child in front of his child, who's getting cheered, hitting game winners in Charlotte. Nasty. And he's still playing. Or there has to be something. Like that situation alone is like, what are we doing, NBA? Now, this situation where the NBA hasn't stepped in to be like, hey, tell Giddey to go home, it's a bad look on the NBA. The NBA is the most progressive league that we have, and these are still the issues that we're having, where Silver just can't figure out what to fucking do. Where Ja Morant's shit gets taken super serious, off rip, go the fuck home, all that stuff. We're investigating, drop the hammer, bang. But yet Giddey is here.
And that is a terrible look. Because the NBA was wild for that. It's wild for that. And if, like I said, we don't know. If this stuff turns out to be true, he's got to get double what Ja got, to me. He's got to at least get double what Ja got, which would be 50 at least. That's at least. I mean,
if anything is found guilty, you can't let him come back. He has to get a ban. You got to hit him with one of those old lifetime bans.
Maybe not
no,
lifetime,
Mike.
But a year or two. That how the NFL does, where you got to come to the commissioner and show that you've changed and try to convince Adam Silver that I'm a good person.
Sleeping with a minor.
It's lies.
Michael,
it's lies. It's all.
If you do anything with a minor,
I mean, yeah,
you should be getting a lifetime.
But his is tricky because he was a minor.
Was he?
No, he wasn't.
He's of legal. He was at the time. If it was 2 years ago, he was of legal age.
This was old. I thought
this was when he was
7.
He was of legal age
when he was
Oklahoma.
17.
He would have been 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, legal age.
I thought this was when he was
California and Oklahoma.
I thought this was when he was 17 and she was 15.
No.
That's why I said that makes this tricky, because that's tricky.
If it was, I think it was when he was like.
But
19.
if he's over, like you're saying, then yeah, he might.
I think it would have been when he was 19.
But
again, we don't know, and the parents and the family's not cooperating.
We don't know. The story I heard was he was 17, she was 15. So
I don't know much. All I know is it was within 2 years, and from what I understand, from what I've seen, they kind of met in an adult function where you had to get in at 18 plus. And she shouldn't have got in. So that's probably why the family is not trying to cooperate, because that's a federal crime, having a fake ID.
This thing is woo. So yeah,
So
I was under a
not
different
wanting
assumption.
to do that.
I was under a different assumption. So if what you're saying is true, then I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. I thought they were both minors when it started, and then But
then you get into the whole, all right, if it's 19 and 15, that's 4 years. What are the statutory rape like laws in California?
Mm-hmm. That's what like this case is wild.
It's a can of worms that it's like you can't really talk too much about it because you don't want to be like, hey, he's a this and that, because then it's just like, all right, everything comes out, everything's clear and he's good. Then it's like, all right, well, defamation suit. Whereas like all the other things that get covered, like Brandon Miller's case, those are things where he was arrested, he was seen to this thing, and you have facts in this case because people are cooperating. You could speak to those facts, find all those details, right? This is one of those things where it's like, we just have like the out statement of what this is right now, and that's it. Nothing else. And it's a tough spot to be in.
We're going off of Twitter rumors.
We're going off of Twitter rumors and he said, she said, and everybody speaking out where we could all be wrong. Twitter could be right, but it's not a good situation for Josh. It's not a good situation for his family. It's not a good situation for the girl.
So and there are laws to protect her. So this whole, he's got to go. He's got to go.
If any of this turns out to be true, then it's like, all right, Josh, see ya.
Thanks for coming.
It's been real. It's been
go
fun.
Enjoy that Australia. Go enjoy that Australia basketball league.
The NBL.
It ain't happening over here, bro.
Yeah, because you have to. That has to be a lifetime ban.
That's oof. Gotta go.
Who is on the list of people banned from the NBA still?
Isn't Tyreke Evans on there?
No, he got reinstated.
Because
Tyreke Evans, OJ Mayo, and them got reinstated.
OJ Mayo, yeah. OJ Mayo got reinstated too.
Yeah, but Tyreke Evans was playing in the G League a couple years. Like the second his thingy came up. Permanently banned.
The dude from the Nuggets, didn't he get and Craig
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf is the guy that I want to see if he's still banned.
Wow, they banned him because of his religious belief.
Yes.
Wow. Permanently banned. So the last play. Nope, OJ Mayo is still banned. He is permanently banned.
Still, OJ Mayo.
That's what I thought.
Up out of here. Because he's in that year, because he probably, well, I don't know how old he is now. I was saying he probably could have made a roster.
Nah, he's washed out now.
He's Derek Rose.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, he's done.
He was suspended in 2018. He was eligible for
5 years already.
Wow, so he was banned in 2016. He was eligible for reinstatement in 2018, but he never did. So he's only banned because he never applied for reinstatement. So he's
he knew.
Donald Sterling, lifetime ban.
Is he dead?
I feel like he is.
No.
Richard Dumas was had a 2-year ban for testing positive for a banned substance, and then popped again for it. So they banned him completely.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either. A lot of these guys that have lifetime bans are from
Richard Dumas. I remember him.
Like, yeah, literally Richard Dumas from the 90s.
Roy Tarpley for the Pistons too,
right? No, Sixers and Suns.
Suns. That's what I remember.
Yeah, and then you have a bunch of guys from like the 60s. Permanently banned, but later reinstated. Tyreke Evans, Birdman. Because in 2006, his substance abuse policy violations.
Yeah, it was bad for him.
Yeah, he came back with the Heat.
He came back. Yeah, he came back.
But yeah, not a lot of guys are on that list, but none of those guys have an allegation like that on their list, this list at all. So that puts you in rare air.
This doesn't happen every day.
Not only does it happen every day, it hasn't happened in 70 years.
This is new for me. This is a new one for me.
It's a lot of the stuff early was point shaving.
Yeah, that got a lot of people being.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff in the 50s and 60s was point shaving.
Out here fixing games.
Yeah, corrupt. This is where Anthony can be like, yo, Twitter's going crazy, saying the NBA's rigged.
George Mikan out here.
George Mikan's out here shaving points. Loser. Get him out of the top 10.
Since you brought up Anthony, can we you want to bring her up?
Malika Andrews?
You know.
Yeah, because I don't think the criticism she's getting is really fair right now, because she's getting killed because she wasn't speaking on the Josh Giddey situation. One, that shit dropped on Thanksgiving, and I don't think she worked.
She did because there was no NBA games on Thanksgiving,
so she didn't work. So she didn't get a chance to really talk until like Monday or Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you have to be very careful with how you cover this,
because the NBA, she's not on TV on the weekends. I don't know if people realize this, but she doesn't work weekends until the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So you can't.
So there you go. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Because ESPN and her could face defamation suits if they say anything. But a lot of the things people need to realize about Malika Andrews is she reads a teleprompter.
She goes off script sometimes, though.
Sometimes, but she doesn't do it in the way that Stephen A. Smith does. She's not a personality. She is a host, journalist, anchor,
and reporter. Mm-hmm.
That's her job, right? So a lot of the stuff that she does that may have a bit of her own opinion in it is mostly off the teleprompter. So the fact that you don't hear anything from her besides the fact that you mention it, because you have to mention it, you can't say anything else. If he's found guilty of anything, I assume that's when the hammer drops on all platforms across the sports world, where they will lay into this young man.
I mean, I literally just saw Stephen A. Yesterday on his show. Had a caller ask him why he hasn't mentioned it yet, and he literally said verbatim what you just said, Dylan. It's because we will get sued. There's no facts. There's nothing to talk about yet. Mm-hmm. So we can't say anything. When Stephen A. says it and yells at a caller, it's cool. But when it's Malika Andrews, she's a coon and she hates all black men and stuff that makes no sense. And it's just people mad at her for doing
the problem I
job.
have with the Malika Andrews doesn't like black men thing is, like, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's like the league is like 87% black, right? And 11% white. You're going to have instances where players are going to get in trouble, and they're more than likely going to be black because of just numbers. Like, they're more likely to have a black player get in trouble than a white player because there's significantly more of them. That's just how it is. My question to Anthony when he would bring her up was like, when's the last time like a white player really got in trouble to be like dragged like this? Because the guys that are getting dragged kind of deserve to get dragged.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like Miles Bridges, drag him. Absolutely drag him. Was it wrong to do the Joel Mazzulla, like, oh, he became the Boston Celtics head coach, but let me remind you, he got arrested for this, and then again on this. Yeah, it's wrong, but like, it is what it is.
And
it's part of the job.
It's part of his story.
When you drag Ime Udoka during his situation,
when she was brought on a non-news show, so she got to voice her opinion, and let me tell you, she's not the only person that feels that way.
Like,
she was not the only person that felt the way that she did. I didn't, but I know she's not the only person that felt like it was a lot of I don't want to use that term. Just shaming, woman shaming.
Yes.
going on. So it is what it is. The Brandon Miller thing. You have to ask that question. You cannot. You cannot, as a journalist, not mention that. Like you're not doing your job if you don't mention that. Like I don't. It's crazy. It's
and again, you are statistically more likely if an NBA player is going to get in trouble, that player is more than likely going to be black because of the 87-11 ratio for black to white, 87 to fucking 13 to white and non-black players. Your small percentage of Spanish, Asian, etc. So like that's just going to happen. The question was, when's the last time a white player got into some serious shit like this? And even if I go by suspensions or anything right here that I have up, it was Birdman in 2006.
So almost 20 years ago.
Like that was the last time like something like for something that could really get somebody in trouble happened. So there's just an instance where it's like, hey, this happened, drag him. I literally can't. I literally can't drag him yet. Let me wait for all the facts before I say anything. That's where it's like it's not fair for the internet to go after her when you should probably be going after him if you care that bad. Where it's like Des Bryant who tried to go after Malika Andrews, and immediately I was like, if you have such a problem about this, why don't you talk about your opinion on Josh Giddey, or are you not going to do it because you're going to get sued? Like we're passing blame to somebody who doesn't deserve the blame in this situation.
It's an interesting time we live in.
It's an annoying time.
Everybody's looking for someone else to be their mouthpiece. That's how I look at it. Everybody's looking for somebody else to be their mouthpiece. And if they're not willing to be their mouthpiece, then they're calling coward on the person that wouldn't be their mouthpiece for them, because they're only saying what they would think, So.
And she's on a show with guys that speak their mind and do that all the time. Like, and it's not her job to give her opinion. It literally is not her job. Like,
her job is to facilitate the show, to make sure the show goes off unhinged and go.
If they ask her for her opinion, obviously she's going to give it. If you've watched that show, you know that Kendrick Perkins tends to go on tangents. Sometimes you got to reel him in. Or as the host, save your panelists from themselves from saying something that will get them in trouble. Because if you don't think that they talk off air, if you think what they say on ESPN is wild on air, the stuff that the conversations that they be saying off air is just how we talk. It's just that they do it in a professional manner. So she probably knew how Kendrick really felt and was trying to, hey, stop. Just go stop, Kendrick, because you're going to get in trouble and you're going to lose your job. So I'm going to reel you in.
I thought Kendrick Perkins got fired during the whole ESPN thing.
No.
Yeah, no, that was a rumor that had no substance to it. People just don't like him, which is going to be a reason he stays for a little while, because he's polarizing. And Stephen A likes him, so he's got the right guy liking him. So who we need to get rid of is Richard Jefferson. That's what I'll start that.
He's good at his job. What are you doing?
I'll sign that petition.
Richard Jefferson is good at his job.
Nick Hayton.
That's how you know Richard Jefferson's good at his job, because he's got you in the palm of his hands.
Get his ass out of here. Every time his voice comes on in 2K, I want to turn the game off. You hate it.
You fall for the bait.
Hates the Knicks, so I hate him.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. He just likes to troll the ridiculous Knicks fans, and he's got you. And he's got you hook, line, and sinker, Mike.
He wanted this war, so he's got it. They hate him too.
It's not a war. He's going to a war with a team that doesn't have an army.
With a fan base. That's what he's going to war with. He's going to war with a fan base.
And he's going to be sitting there pretty, collecting his check, poking the bear. Poking the bear, collecting his check, being good at his job. Look at that. Don't go nowhere. Man. Who we need to get rid of is Doc. Get Doc Rivers away out of here.
Oh, damn.
Get Doc Rivers out of here.
Why?
His voice is not good.
I don't mind. I don't mind his voice.
I mind his voice.
Yeah, Doc is rusty. That's what I'll say. He's rusty. Give him some time, and he'll. Because Doc wasn't bad before when he did this. So
no, but that was also like 20 years ago.
That's why I'm saying he's rusty. Let's give him some time. Let him get his sea legs back.
We live in a world of instant gratification, sir.
We do.
So give me JJ Redick or give me nobody.
Give me JJ Redick. Give me JJ all day.
Give me Richard Jefferson. Give me JJ.
I'm good. I'm good with him. Give me
Iman Shumpert.
Give me
on a commentator.
Yeah.
Give me Monica McNutt. Give me Monica McNutt and
give me Snoop.
JJ, and I have with Mike Breen, and I got an all-stars cast.
I'll take Snoop.
Snoop makes anything funny. Come on, nephew.
Mm-hmm.
All of this to say, is Draymond Green costing the Warriors?
No, it's not Draymond. It's also Clay.
Point. That was the original point.
Well, so the original point was that Draymond promptly got a technical in his first game back against the Kings, which he did not deserve, and that ref was looking for a reason to give him a technical. But needless to say, after he got that technical, James's Kings went off. So it got the Kings fired up, and the Kings came back and won. And they came back and won.
Problem with this Warriors team.
Yeah, what's the problem? Are the Warriors in trouble?
Outside of Steph, they got nothing. Nothing's working. Clay, we
have anything to fight for.
We had a nice conversation during the playoffs last year in a phone call in the group chat. And I think it was me and Roz. Maybe James was there. Maybe Anthony was there. It was a third. I don't remember who it was. And the question that was proposed to me by Roz was, what do you do with Jordan Poole? Right? So that's one. They handled that. And who do you think you need to get rid of? Because Clay is also not playing great. And my exact response was, Jordan Poole's going to get traded in the offseason, and you really have to explore moving on from Clay.
I was there for that call.
Okay, then it was you. It was either you or Anthony. I was like, you have to explore moving on from Clay.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to say nothing because I was like, I don't remember this guy.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it wasn't you. That's why I said it was either James or Anthony. It was not you. I don't remember
this conversation, but I'm going to let him rock.
This call.
Yeah, and I was like, you have to explore it because Clay is not giving you half. He's barely giving you half of what you got since coming back from injury. So his first year coming back from injury, he didn't play well at all. You had a couple spurts of great Clay, and then he kept him moving. All of last year, you got average Clay. Defense falls off, and he's not shooting at the same clip that he was. And then this year, he's just a shell of himself. And he's trying to get a contract, and he's getting annoyed that he's not getting the conversation started. And the Warriors are just like, listen, it's Steph is dying out there by himself. You're already getting paid a lot of money. You're not even looking like you're worth that right now. We paid you. You got this money for being the best two-way player in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, you had two massively major injuries that can derail a career.
Come here.
But you're getting paid a ton of money. You need to produce, and he's not. So you have to explore moving on from him. You're also not really getting a lot from your other guys. Like Chris Paul's playing fine basketball, and Andrew Wiggins is where.
Yeah.
Kuminga's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kuminga doesn't get to play.
That's who
when he plays, he struggles.
Step,
he needs to be taking a step up in his playing time because he's now getting these opportunities. Now he's going to lose his opportunities because he's not playing well in his opportunities. So the Warriors are in trouble just from a roster construction standpoint. I don't know if they really have anything to play for at this point besides pride in being the Warriors. Would I like for them to figure this out?
I think they want that fifth ring. I think they want to have more rings than LeBron.
Now the question is, if you're Golden State, if you're Golden State, do you try to get involved in that Zach LaVine sweepstakes?
Not if you're keeping Clay on the team.
You have to get rid of Clay.
But the Bulls are now on the phone with the Warriors. They don't want Clay.
And it's just a matter of like if you're whoever the GM is, the Warriors, you have to call them and be like, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Just kick the tires. Like, what makes this LaVine trade work?
But if you bring Zach LaVine on that team and you don't have to get rid of Clay, you have to get rid of Clay because Clay and Zach LaVine can't be on that team together.
Mm-mm.
They cannot be on the team together. So if you're making that deal, then Clay has to go. Because they can't be on.
Or you have to find a third team to get involved because then Wiggins goes.
Clay and Zach LaVine can't be on the same team.
Exactly. So that's why I say you have to find a third team because if anything, they're probably going to ask for Wiggins and like Kuminga for LaVine, and you have to figure out a way to one, make the salaries work while also sending Clay to Siberia.
And I don't know if I don't know if I'm doing that. I don't know if I'm doing
because that's just disrespectful to Clay if you're sending him to Siberia.
Wiggins and Kuminga for Zach LaVine. I don't.
You got to make money work.
I don't think Zach LaVine's that good for that.
It's not. Well, it's not. It's you have to make.
I know, but you have to make. But in order to make it work, if that's what I have to do to make it work, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. It's too much.
Because LaVine is struggling with this scenery right now. He's just Billy Donovan and him just hate each other. It's over. Yeah, the second LaVine goes somewhere else, it's going to be Vince Carter when he left Toronto. Where it's like, oh, he was playing like dog shit, and then he goes from averaging fucking like 18, 3 and 3 to 24, 7 and 6.
He's gonna uptick. You know who I think should be on the phone for Zach LaVine? James's Magic. I think
I'm not.
I think he could be that little veteran. He still can ball. I don't know.
Nah, I'm not. If I'm the Magic, I'm not touching him because the Magic have this great rotation net right now with multiple guards, multiple wings. They have size. You have to throw away the continuity because all these guys have played with each other over the last 3 years or so. So, like, they have a great continuity. You can't ruin that right now. That's an off-season move if that's what you're going to do for Orlando. Because most of who makes money in Orlando right now? I think they're all on rookie contracts. I think they're all on their rookie contracts besides Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
He's only making like 12. So they could afford to look in free agency next year to do that. Right now, I saw a rumor today that was like the Lakers are more interested in DeMar DeRozan than they are Zach LaVine. But
that's because
the Bulls' priority.
That's because they want a lot for Zach LaVine. They want
the Bulls' priority is to get rid of Zach.
They want Rui Hachimura and Reeves for Zach LaVine.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I'm no.
Yeah.
No.
Now it's just a matter of where does Zach LaVine end up because that's just the inevitability right now. I don't think any team really wants to touch him.
I don't think it's
because the asking price, not because of him.
No, that's what I think. It's the asking price. I don't think no team wants him because he can flip a few teams. He could flip a few teams, but it's the asking price. So I don't know because it's like like Dallas. He could work with Dallas.
I think could want to do it.
Miami could use him in the worst way.
Miami wants to make a trade like that, but then you have to get rid of what you got.
Gotta get rid of your boy.
And they don't want to. Well, the problem is
Nobody
they want to get rid of Tyler Hero. Does the team who want Tyler Hero?
RJ Barrett. Never has been.
That's not true.
Never has been. But yeah. Well, he's been hurt, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take a victory lap.
Right now, he's averaging 23 points a game on 41% 3-point shooting.
How many games?
How many games? Let's see. He has played 8.
Okay. Yeah. Small sample size.
How many games have been played?
They've played about 20 or so.
18. So he's played almost half of the games. But in the games he's played well. Let's see what RJ Barrett's doing.
I don't know how many games the Knicks have played. I don't know if the Knicks have played 20 yet.
RJ
Barrett has played in 12.
Yeah, he's been injured a little bit this season, but he's
so it's only 4 games difference. So they played 17. The Heat have played 18. RJ's played in 4 more games. RJ is 19 points on a really good shooting year right now, 43%.
And a better defender.
But when I say that, it's I have eyes. Da, 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 da.
What?
Spencer Dinwiddie is just Jordan Poole.
Wait, what are we doing? Wait, Spencer Dinwiddie is what?
A better defender than Jordan Poole by a good amount. You were fighting me that because I said Spencer Dinwiddie is an above average defender, and you said no, he's not.
That's where I was fighting you. I wasn't fighting you about if
he's an above average defender.
I wasn't fighting about whether he's better than Jordan Poole. You said he's an above average defender. I was like, all right.
That's what makes Spencer Dinwiddie better than Jordan Poole. I said Spencer Dinwiddie is better than Jordan Poole because he does all the same shit on offense, just plays better defense, and you're like,
That is one argument, saying he's an above average defender.
Yeah, because Jordan Poole is a negative below average defender. And Dinwiddie is an above average defender for his position. Yes. Does that make him an elite defender? No, it does not make him an elite defender. Does that make him a great defender? No, it makes him above average. Is that wrong? No. If we have 30 teams,
he's an okay defender. I knew this was where you go. If
30 teams,
if he's number 14, he's above average.
That is how that works. That is literally how that works. I'm not saying he's an elite defender or Drew Holiday level defender. I'm saying he's a really good defender.
So for you, if he's 30 teams, if he's 14 and Jordan Poole is 16, you're going to say
Jordan Poole is not. The problem is Jordan Poole is not 16.
But my example remains. You would say he's an above average and he's below average. Would you not?
Yes, because
even though they are literally right with each other.
They're not, because one is ahead and one is below. And if the middle is 15, one's a below average defender, one's an above average defender.
So you're playing word games.
If we're at 0.5 and one is 0.47 versus 0.54,
you're playing.
I'm playing it when you say above average. I need a line, a baseline, right? That's how you do that. If the league average for 3-point shooting is 33% and a guy shoots 32%, he is a below average 3-point shooter. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. How is that any different?
And if he shoots 34%, he's above average.
Yes, because he is literally above the league average.
And then when you use the argument, the difference between these two is he's below average and he's above average. That would make it seem like there's a gap between them, does it not?
There is a gap. It's that 1. That 1% is the gap. The 2% is the gap. Is that not a gap?
So, like I said, you're playing word game. You know what
the difference here is Jordan Poole is not 16. Doing. Jordan Poole is probably like 30. Am I wrong?
You know what you did.
Have you watched Jordan Poole play basketball? The problem is you saw Jordan Poole do cool shit in Golden State, and
this
we're blinded.
This argument is for Roz. It is not for me.
You're blinded by him making half-court shots and saying pool party in the NBA Finals, but ignored
the one that have you fired up about Jordan Poole.
But ignored everything you saw last year about Jordan Poole, how he was unplayable because he's a shot chucker of the Deion Waiters class.
We are not doing this hive mind thing tonight.
I have a Jordan Poole. His name is Spencer Dinwiddie.
It's with Rob.
And Dinwiddie better. Dylan, name 5 players on your team better than Spencer Dinwiddie. I did, and that stands. Because it's right. And then we added a new player to the mix. His name is Cam Thomas. He better than fucking Jordan Poole, too. Fuck out of here. Cam Thomas is going to be on the old man in the 3 in a couple days, next week. Watch that. What? Ain't shit funny. He going on JJ Redick's podcast.
Will he smile?
Probably not. No, he will. He will. He got his braces off. He wants to show off the pearly whites.
That's probably why he wasn't smiling.
Ain't shit funny. That's why he was. Fell right into that. What was that before the pod started, James? Looking for the spider
webs. Next, are the Timberwolves for real?
In a world where the Warriors aren't, the Timberwolves rise up. Somebody's got to fill up that gap. Pause.
I'm glad because I was thinking about it.
But somebody's got to replace the Warriors and their little downfall or their little fall off. And
so do you think the Warriors are done? Like they're not going to make the playoffs done?
No, I still think they'll find a way. But if they keep what they're doing right now, I will. No, they're not. They're cool.
Well, I mean, they've lost like 7 out of 8. So
that's
if
tough.
they keep doing that, then no, they won't.
Then no, they will not. I would love to see them figure it out, but
I think they will.
I would like to. They have the championship DNA of a team that can figure it out and fight. And if they can make the play-in, they're the team you don't want to play in the play-in.
They very much are giving me the same vibe that the Lakers gave last year.
Like, don't fuck around and let us get in. I know we fucked up early, but don't let us fuck around and get in.
Because Steph will hurt you.
Yep, Steph will rip the heart right out of your chest.
I find it funny that Steph is now going through what LeBron went through in 2016 and stuff, where Steph is like, I'm playing at God tier right now. I just need y'all to do anything. Just anything. and y'all are not doing nothing. Like, what is happening right now?
Steph is a dog, man. Steph is so fucking good at basketball. I saw last night Steph just refused to pass the ball to a wide open Klay Thompson to shoot it over 2 people and that's not a bad shot. It's because of Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the ultimate. It's not really a bad shot guy. It's a bad shot if anybody else takes it. It's a great shot if Steph takes it.
Dame is also one of those. It's not really a bad shot when Dame takes those deep threes. It's like, all right, because they go in.
And they're ruining youth basketball across the country.
They are, because you got a bunch of Jordan Pooles out here. And
don't disrespect these youth basketball players by calling them Jordan Poole.
and Trae Youngs. because Trae also takes a lot of bad shots.
Yeah, but Trae Young still shoots at a high clip and like a high percentage clip, so like it's fine.
8 above Jordan Poole.
Huh?
3 above Jordan Poole. He's better than Jordan Poole.
I was gonna say, don't disrespect. I know you don't like Trae Young, but don't do that. Don't do that to Trae Young.
He's a grade above Jordan because he actually knows how to pass the ball. So that's already
Trae Young is a better basketball player. And Trae Young's irrational confidence is warranted because he's a really good shooter. Jordan Poole takes some stupid shots. Jordan Poole shouldn't be taking Dirk Nowitzki fadeaways for the 3-point line. Like those are the shots he shouldn't be taking. That means you got too much dip on your chip.
He takes a lot of bad shots.
I saw somebody post on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, Kyle Kuzma building his trade stock," and he responds, "Why y'all trying to trade me? Gotta save him.
Make me have to go somewhere and actually play under rules and play good basketball.
You gotta save Kyle Kuzma from himself and Jordan Poole, because man, that situation sucks." Well, how many? Hold on, let me see the standings really quick.
How many wins them dudes got? 5, 6. No way they got double-digit wins.
What's the over/under, Mike? Before I tell you, what's the baseline?
Well, answer me this: how many total games have they played?
18.
6.5.
Are you taking the over or the under?
Under.
You would be correct, sir. They are 3-15.
They have 3 wins?
They have one more win than the Pistons. And the only reason they have one more win than the Pistons is because they beat the Pistons.
Oh.
Somebody save Cade Cunningham.
Someone save him, please.
Somebody swoop in and save him.
Please. He's too good for that.
Because Monty Williams probably needs to be fired.
It's Dylan.
And do you want to know why I'm calling for his head right now?
20 games into the season?
Do you want to know why I'm calling for his head right now?
Why?
Why is Killian Hayes playing more basketball than Jaden Ivey?
I don't know.
Fire Monty.
We're not firing.
Which sucks. And fire Monty to get him out of that situation.
I don't know why he took that job. I don't know who told him to take that job.
Take that job so you can get fired and get paid. That's why you take that job.
I would not have taken that job.
A coach of his caliber taking a dog shit coaching job, that's a coaching job that gets offered to an assistant who's never coached anything. That's Jacques Vaughn getting hired to coach the Magic. That's what that is. That's Chauncey Billups getting hired to coach the Blazers.
The Blazers. Yeah, I mean, because, I would not have taken that job at all.
I don't get it. Kudos to him for getting a bag. Kudos to him to collect that bag when he gets fired. But that Pistons team's a dumpster.
Can't fire him up to 20 games. He's got a 5-year contract. You cannot fire him after
bad franchises do bad franchise things.
I mean, they do.
And the Pistons are like a perennial bad franchise?
Pretty much. Ever since they ran Joe Dumars out of the front office.
The Pistons are one of those teams that throughout my life have really been bad like 95% of the time.
They have.
Outside of like 04.
Well, no, they had a stretch in the 2000s from like 04 to
they had like a 4-year stretch.
09, yeah.
They had a 4-year stretch where they were really good.
5 years in a row, so.
4-year stretch where they were really good. They had a resurgence that Blake year, and then they went back down. So out of the last 20 years, 4 out of 20 years is crazy. And then if you even go further, like we do just my lifetime from 94 to 2023,
because
29 years.
Good. They were not good in the 90s either.
There was that stretch where like Grant Hill was there but they still like weren't great.
Yeah.
Like, so 29 years, they've been good really 4 years. Pistons are like that perennial dog shit franchise. Even like the Hornets had a few years when they were the Bobcats. But even still, they were there too. Where it's like they're dog shit.
I mean, and even Kimba dragged them to the playoffs. They didn't win, but he dragged them there.
Well, you also have Gerald Wallace, Corey Maggette, Steven Jackson, that group of guys that made the playoffs. Boris Diaw, Adam Morrison, Emeka Okafor.
James loves Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison, he looks like a guy who.
Also,
let me stop. Let me stop. Oof. I'm getting real problematic.
Hey, Memphis won a game tonight. Hey.
So that means they have 2 more wins than the Wizards.
It's crazy. Jaren Jackson had 6 blocks tonight. You want to take a guess where that game was played?
Where? In Memphis?
Of course in Memphis.
I was about to say, because he's been on fraud watch all season so far.
Had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
He's been on fraud watch. I think your favorite center and mine, Nicholas Claxton, leads the NBA in blocks right now. Blocks per game. Your favorite center and mine, Nicholas Claxton.
Good for him. Good for him.
We love that.
Not winning defensive player of the year, though. It's the guy on the other New York team.
I don't know, the defensive win shares that Claxton has and his ability to guard the perimeter at a high level separate him from Mitch Robinson.
High level, Dylan.
Yes, he guards 1 through 5. You've watched the Claxton play.
Just say he can guard any position. Don't
and do it well. And do it well.
Position. He's not guarding any wing at a high level.
When he why do you think they don't switch on him?
Because he has the ability to do it.
They don't switch on him because he does a good job doing it when he does it.
There's a difference between a good job and a high level.
So when you get switched onto these players and they miss more shots than they make on you consistently, it is a high level, right?
He's not a high level perimeter wing defender.
Is he on the level of a prime Draymond Green? No. Is he on the level of a Bam Adebayo? Yes.
No.
He is.
No.
He absolutely is.
You're doing too much.
I'm not. I would implore you to watch more Nets games for you to understand. But you won't.
So he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year?
I said he was. Just like you said your guy was.
I think my guy.
The difference between your guy and my guy is my guy defends the perimeter really well. While also leading the NBA in blocks.
Funnel team.
But don't worry, it's a funnel team. This team does not funnel. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The guy who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year is going to end up being Rudy Gobert again. And we're both going to look fucking pissed off and annoyed at this fucking dork.
I surely do not want to see that again.
No, he's doing that thing again where his defensive stats because of rebounds and all that shit, and he has been playing well, but like when you look at like the defensive like win shares stats, he's like far and away like the greatest defender of all time. It's the advanced analytics stats that that we love for Jokic, but on defense hate for Gobert.
I would say tell me that you can skew stats without telling me you can skew stats, because you're gonna tell me Rudy Gobert is the greatest defensive player ever. I'm going to tell you don't know basketball. That's what I'm going to tell you.
I'm also going to say that because Rudy Gobert gets cooked. Cooked. You got to be able to defend the perimeter a little bit. Or he's going to have Chris Paul cooking you your whole career.
Okay. I have my TV on. Oh, okay, everything's okay. I have my TV on mute, and there's basketball highlights going on, and I saw the Pelicans game tonight, and I saw Zion Williamson get fouled and come up a little limp, and I was like, oh no! And then promptly the next highlight is him catching an alley.
Zion had a like near perfect game.
He is a difference maker, boy. When he's on that court, he is a difference maker. This is the New Orleans, even though they're 9-10. This New Orleans team, wow, I'm looking at it right now. Dylan, 33 points on 11 and 12 from the field and 11 and 12 from the free throw line. You're not going to beat this team. With Brandon Ingram, you're not going to beat this team. If Zion does that.
They still have to get CJ back, which he should be.
CJ played tonight. CJ played tonight.
Oh, he did? He finally played?
Yep, he played tonight. You're not going to beat that Pelicans team. If that happens, you're not going to beat them.
You could beat that Pelicans team.
Not if Zion's getting 33 a night with Ingram getting 20. And Zion shooting 90% from the field.
I think the way you beat them is by stopping Ingram. You're going to have to let Zion do what Zion does. Or you just start slamming him to the ground. You start Jordan rulesing his ass.
Wow.
That's how. What you can't let him just do that. You gotta do something. And he's bigger than everybody, so it's either you slam him to the ground a bunch because he's just a fucking Mack truck, or you put your more physical defender on Brandon Ingram and try to annoy him. Which one's the best option?
Which for the best?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your Grant Williams and you just put him in the hip and just on the catch every time. Just do what he did to KD and just German suplex him the whole series.
German suplex.
That is one way you can do it.
Mm-hmm. He's got a sturdier base.
Yep, moving on.
Oh, God.
So both teams are off to a great start. We were supposed to talk about the Clippers in trouble. They promptly are. They're winning tonight, but because it's been since we had our last conversation about them when we had the fight because y'all don't know basketball. The Clippers have still not been winning.
You watch basketball to gaslight us. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
The Clippers have still not been winning.
Mike don't know ball.
Are you concerned about the Clippers yet? Are we concerned yet? Or do we still need to give them time?
I was concerned.
They're winning tonight, though.
I believe I was concerned last time because I don't know how they can coach themselves out of this. Like, Russ volunteering himself to go to the bench is a great thing. Great leader. Good shit, Russ. That doesn't help the problems.
That Dallas game was a fluke because Dallas don't want no smoke with them boys. Still. The boys still don't want no smoke with the Clippers.
No, they don't want no smoke with Luka. That's what they don't want. Luka sees the
But
Clippers.
Luka always loses to them for some odd reason.
I would suggest I don't think so. I think he is even those.
How many times did Luka beat them in the playoffs? Your microphone. What'd you say?
He lost them 2 straight years.
2 straight years.
Tell me more about how Luka's awesome, Mike. Tell me more about how Luka's awesome.
I'm glad you keep playing that stuff, Dylan. Just show the trend that we be talking about with Michael.
This is all because Mike has been pushing this narrative that Dylan doesn't like black quarterbacks.
He does not. Mm-hmm. Dylan hates black quarterbacks. Dylan hates black quarterbacks at all costs. Will not give them any credit. This man has sat here and said Jalen Hurts is a tool. I heard him say it.
A tool?
I heard him say it.
I said he was a tool?
Yep, he's a tool.
Because I don't like the one black quarterback that you adore. I don't like black quarterbacks at all.
You don't like black quarterbacks.
Lamar Jackson is one of my guys. What are we doing here?
I feel like I've also heard you say repeatedly.
What? What type of bullshit are you about to spew out of your mouth?
I've heard you repeatedly say that Dak Prescott is a hack. I've heard you say that multiple times.
I caped for Dak Prescott in our group chat. What are we doing?
I've heard you call him a hack. I've heard you call him that.
A hack? I talk like that?
Yes.
I talk like a fucking 55-year-old white guy?
I was stunned when you said it. I was stunned when you said it.
A hack.
The way you constantly praise Professor Trevor Lawrence is the best ever. I see the trend. That you hate the black quarterback.
You don't CJ Stroud in your MVP conversation. I put him in and you're like, nope. Maybe you don't like black quarterbacks, Mike.
I
think that's what it is.
Mike,
James,
tell us more.
You are not allowed.
Tell us more about how you hate black quarterbacks because you don't think CJ Stroud should be in the MVP conversation.
I do think CJ Stroud. Excuse me, sir. CJ Stroud is the player that I selected and said will be the best player in that draft.
And you said he can't play quarterback like the white man. I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
It's never been said. I'm the one that sits here and argues for Jalen Hurts every week because you think he's a system quarterback.
I never said system quarterback. Anthony said system quarterback. Not me. Don't do that to me. My other concerns with him are incredibly valid. Incredibly valid, especially this year, with him having a down year after having a really great year after having a bad year.
Why is he having a bad year this year?
Higher turnovers. He's giving away the ball more. He's not throwing as many touchdown passes.
Do you think the Eagles are concerned about him?
No, the Eagles should be concerned about a lot more because they are playing games like they're the Vikings from last year. And the football gods are being really good to them, but they're at a coin toss at almost every game. And that style of football ultimately will catch up to you. We'll see how they perform against San Fran.
And if they lose to San Francisco, does this mean that they stink?
No, it doesn't mean that. It means kind of exactly what I thought because I think the NFC picture is rock, paper, scissors, where San Fran, I think, beats the dog shit out of Dallas. I think Dallas could beat Philly, and I think Philly can beat San Fran. So I think it's like that circle is how the circle of life is. No, not stink. I still think they could be a Super Bowl team. I'm not going to be like that. The concerning part is they play down to their competition every fucking week.
So we should get a good version of them on Sunday.
Maybe. I hope so. But the one thing, it's best on best. The best thing San Fran does is run the football. The best thing Philly does is stop the run. So we'll see. And that San Fran defense, if you could take away the short game from Philly, you could make a lot of things happen on the defensive side, especially because their offensive line's banged up and old, which we've seen a lot this year with that offensive line not holding up the way they need to.
It is old. It's an older line.
It's an older line. And Lane Johnson is a lame duck out there and probably isn't playing. And their backup right tackle is dog shit. And you got Chase Young coming at you. Ooh.
I know that the Niners better win because they've been very them and their fan base.
The Niners have a
very
rightful
chirpy.
The Niners have a rightful gripe against Philadelphia
about
because of how they didn't have a quarterback last time they played.
Why didn't they have a quarterback?
They got hurt. All of them got hurt.
Exactly. And how did they get hurt? They got knocked out.
Again.
They got taken out. The Eagles took their players out.
So we're praising them for injuring players?
They couldn't handle the physicality.
We're praising them for injuring players. That's what we're doing.
It's like a hard hit.
Again, if I'm a Niners fan, I also feel robbed that I didn't have a quarterback. Am I mad at Philly? Probably not.
They're mad.
I'm be mad at the fact is like we could have won that game if we had a quarterback. But again,
won the game. It was the NFC Championship. Of course, they could have won the game.
We should have won that game, and they probably were going to win that game.
That
because I still think that San Francisco Niners team was the best team in football last year, hands down.
Philly ran them over.
Do they have a black or a white quarterback?
White. They have a white quarterback.
The one white quarterback that Dylan does not like.
I don't like him.
The one that Dylan does not like.
I do not like him.
I will not even lie on that, man. Dylan does not like Brock Purdy at all. Drives Anthony crazy because Anthony thinks he's an MVP kind of quarterback. He's not.
My God.
He's not. I think so. Here's the thing, James. It's one of those things where you know how it is with Anthony and Dylan. I'm in the middle. Dylan is one extreme. Anthony is the
I'm not as bad. I'm not as bad as I was. I apologize to him.
You did apologize.
I did. He's not as bad as I thought, but he's not as good as Anthony thinks.
He's nowhere near as good as Anthony thinks he is.
He's nowhere near as good as Anthony
He's nowhere as good as Anthony thinks he is.
But if you put Brock Purdy anywhere else, he's not good.
I think it depends on where. I think it depends
system
on where.
And that talent.
Absolutely. No, because I think if he's
a system quarterback.
Like if he's on, like it's tough because
it's not.
If he's on Cincinnati, they're not as good, but I don't think he's like he couldn't play. Like if he had the weapons,
you'd be looking to replace him.
I don't know.
You'd be looking to replace him because he's not.
I don't know.
It's not the same.
He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Joe Burrow.
He's not an elite quarterback. You'd be looking to replace him.
If he was on the Bengals, I think they would still be a playoff team.
I don't think so.
I think they'd still.
I think they'd be a 6-7 win team.
Nah, see, that's. I think
we saw how that Niners team played without their left tackle, and once pressure started getting there, Cincinnati does not have a good offensive line.
Let's not act like it's not the best left tackle in football either.
So how many situations are going to be in where you have the best left tackle in football? One. But you're going to be in one situation.
But Cincinnati has a good play caller. That's like that. They have a good play caller,
but it's
that
different.
situation is where I think that's a situation that would work for him. He could work to that.
But then again, you have let's go take a look at every other quarterback that's come out of that system. They've succeeded in that system, and then they play outside of that system. They're not very good.
Well, I think Brock Purdy.
Matt Ryan won an MVP in that system.
Matt Ryan was good before that system, though.
Kyle Shanahan left, and those numbers decreased significantly.
He was old.
They decreased.
Don't tell me Matt Ryan wasn't good before he got there.
Matt Ryan was good. He wasn't great.
I'm saying, don't tell me he wasn't good before he got there.
No, he was
and
good.
Don't act like he wasn't old right time. Like Matt Ryan was on the last leg.
When he
was
went
already
to
34
in 24.
He was 34. He was 34.
That's still like you still got 2 years left. At quarterback, you still got 2 years left. And how long did he play till?
37, I think.
Until last year. And he went to the Super Bowl in what, 2016?
17, I think it was.
20, because I was still in my first apartment. I was still in Orange Best Buy at that time. So that's 2016. Yeah, 2017. His numbers dropped the next year.
I mean, that Falcons team.
Matt Ryan was never an MVP caliber quarterback.
I mean, he was that year.
Because of the system.
He was that year, but.
And then they went and get Jimmy. Jimmy fooled Anthony. You get Jimmy outside of a Kyle Shanahan offense and look at him.
Jimmy's a unique case. Jimmy's also been in the league longer than people think.
Yeah, he's like he has 3 championship rings.
And so it's not like he's a spring chicken.
And he wasn't good in New England.
Didn't he win like his first 12 games or something stupid like that?
Quarterback winning is not a quarterback stat.
Winning is not a quarterback stat.
It's not. You know what? It's a coach stat. It's not a winning. It's not.
Except when it is.
It's not.
Winning is not a quarterback stat.
I think it's the dumbest thing in the world to give.
But it's a coach stat.
I think it's the dumbest thing in the world to give Zach Wilson a win against Philly when he didn't do shit.
Game.
Did he win the game, or did he hand the ball off to win the game? Or did the defense get the game-stealing interception to win the game?
He was the starting quarterback. He won the game.
But he didn't. That's the difference here. The defense forced 4 turnovers for them to not convert on third down and kick field goals. He didn't do anything.
So you don't think...
Who scored more points?
So Peyton Manning doesn't get those wins for that last year in Denver when he wasn't good? Or did he win those games?
I mean, he still threw a ton of touchdowns. But again, winning and losing isn't a quarterback stat. Why is it it's a coach stat? It's not a quarterback stat. Mac Jones won a game throwing the ball 3 times.
It's the same.
But winning is a quarterback stat. He threw the ball 3 times in a game.
It's the same argument.
He still wins that game, even though he threw 3 running backs three times.
About starting pitchers. It's the same thing.
Mike, if a quarterback throws the ball 3 times, he still won that game.
He won the game. Yes. Did he start the game? Did they win? He won the game.
He plays defense.
Mike is correct.
He plays defense. He plays defense.
I think Mike is correct on this, Dylan.
Winning isn't a quarterback stat. It's a team stat. It's a coach stat. It's not a quarterback stat.
Is the coach out there?
Is the coach coaching the team?
Is the quarterback running the offense?
One side of the ball?
Hey, Dylan, I don't watch football anymore. Well, let me ask you. If a football team is losing and the quarterback brings the team down the field and they get a field goal, did the quarterback win the game?
No, the team won the game. The quarterback led the drive, but the team won the game.
Okay.
Just like, hey, let's say who was a team that just recently won on a pick 6? The quarterback wins that game when they win on a pick 6.
Different than a kicker kicking the field goal at the end of the game.
So why is when the team wins by other means, it's a quarterback stat? The team
the same reason that the quarterbacks get losses, Dylan. The quarterback get losses too.
The Jets have 4 wins, and none of those 4 wins are because of the quarterback.
Dylan, but they also get losses. Zach Wilson is getting all of these losses.
It's not a win or loss, but the quarterback
not one
just
side.
Like the quarterback shouldn't get credit for a win. A quarterback should not get credit for a loss if the defense goes out there and gives up 40. That's not how that works.
Hey, Dylan, I think your argument is being situational because I think that should go across the board for any sport.
Football is situational.
I think that idea, that mindset that you have right now should go across the board for all sports. Then,
if we're gonna say winning is a position stat for one position, then sure. How we do that in other sports?
I'm asking why is it different from baseball?
Saying,
why
I'm
is it
saying
different
that
from baseball?
It should be what you're saying across all sports. It should be a team stat for all sports and not just one player. If a player hits a buzzer beater shot to win the game, how they got to that point, if the team got there as a team, it should be a team stat then for every across the board.
The players don't get a win on their stats. They don't. The team does.
Yeah. So all right, cool.
That's how it is.
Let's keep it that way.
So did Jalen Hurts win the game or did the Eagles win the game? Because I saw Jalen Hurts run in for the touchdown.
Jalen Hurts scored the last touchdown, yes.
He won
but
the game,
Eagles
right?
won the game because winning is not a quarterback stat. Did Josh Allen lose the game?
Yes, he did.
No, he did not, because who gave up the touchdown? Did Josh Allen give up the touchdown?
No, the team lost.
Did Josh Allen give up the touch? Did Josh Allen give up that touchdown?
Quarterback. No.
But did he give that up?
No. So
because he went out again, and so Josh Allen gets 3 points put on the board, right? Why is it his loss if the defense doesn't do their job?
Because he was
it's not his
quarterback for the team.
It's not. The quarterback doesn't play defense, so why does it matter?
So I need you to explain to me why it's different in baseball. I don't understand how you can make this argument, but then look at baseball and be like, well, that's a stat for pitchers. It's the exact same thing. They don't hit. If a relief pitcher comes in,
they don't hit anymore. You're asking me to compare apples and oranges. That's what you're asking me to do. It's not.
No, it is the same thing. Because they're not playing the other side of the field.
Quarterbacks do not have a stat that shows win or loss on their stat sheet. It is yards, passes. It's the team record. It is a team record. It is the team record.
They don't hit. They don't catch. They don't catch. They don't hit. They don't steal.
When the only difference between pitchers and quarterbacks is pitchers have a win-loss record in their stats. That is how it is. You start a game, you pitch X amount of innings that qualify you to get a win. That is how the game is set up. If you're going to ask me to argue what baseball does versus what football does, I can't do that because it's apples and oranges. If we're going to keep, it is not the same thing. If a pitcher goes out,
your argument
if a pitcher goes out there and he allows 4 home runs,
Dylan,
that is a loss for the pitcher.
I'm asking you, right? Your argument is only because there's a stat column versus the situation itself, right?
What's the situation for pitchers? Is it their situation being they play baseball?
No, I'm asking you a question. Is your argument the fact that baseball has a stat column and NFL doesn't, regardless of it being the same situation?
My argument is they are different sports. That's the argument. They are completely different sports.
What's different from Cole coming in and pitching a no-hitting 7 runs, getting pulled, and that team losing and him getting a loss versus like whether he played good or not, and him getting a loss in his stat column because the team lost when he didn't play anymore versus an NFL quarterback out here playing like 10 for 10 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and the defense loses the game while he's not up for a drive. What's the difference?
The difference is baseball and football is football. When you have baseball also has a sport where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys are playing defense and offense.
Baseball is the same way.
I just said baseball does that. Football does not have the same guys who play offense play defense.
They can.
Dylan, you're still not answering my question.
I have answered. The difference is one sport is one sport and the other sport is the other sport. Asking me,
what's the difference from the situation?
The situation is one team is playing baseball, one team is playing football.
I'm not asking.
When Josh Allen is not asked to go out there and play quarterback and then go out there and play safety.
I'm not. He's not being asked to do that. What sport they're playing? Because you're evading right now.
I'm not evading. If you stop interrupting me and let me continue going, then I will go and answer your question.
All right, go ahead.
So, baseball has 9 guys, right? Pitcher, catcher, first, second, shortstop, all that stuff. Those guys play offense. Those guys play defense. The pitcher goes out there. He gives up 4 runs. The pitcher may not even give the run. It could be on the fault of the defender out there missing the stuff. Still gives up the run. He's pitching. Should have got him out. That's just how the sport works. If he goes out there, he pitches 7 shutout, and then the next pitcher comes in, gives a run. Oh, well, you guys have to still figure it out. That's just the rule of baseball. Football does not have that rule. You are asking me to compare apples and oranges. I cannot do that. I will not do that because wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. If they go in and incorporate a quarterback stat, hey, they win this, they lose this, etc. Cool. What's the stipulations for it? What constitutes a win? What constitutes a loss? We know those rules in baseball. We know, hey, you pitch 6 innings, you go out there, do X, Y, Z. Whatever the outcome is, that's on you. You did your job. That's just what's going to happen. You pitched X amount of innings. That's just how it goes. There's no rule in stated for football that says, hey, quarterbacks come out there, they do X, Y, and Z. It is what it is. There's nothing established. There's no rule, no stat established that says anything. So the only difference between the two, they could be a very similar situation, but it's not going to be the same because one sport is playing one sport, the other sport is playing the other sport.
I think that's just very convenient to your argument.
I mean, if you're going to ask me to compare a pitcher to a quarterback, why would I? They are playing two different sports. A quarterback should not get a win if no points are scored on the offensive side of the football. How do I know? I watch a team every week that doesn't score points. So why? I watched Mac Jones hand the ball off 40 times in a football game. He threw 3 times, didn't throw the ball a single time in the second half. They won. Not because of anything he did, because the defense scored a bunch of points off of turnovers. Not because of anything he did. So why does Mac Jones get the win? Because he just was on the field? That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't show how good a quarterback is. That doesn't show anything. Yeah, he wins football games. Great. What did he do in that game to get the win? Oh, he just handed the ball off? I could go get my fucking nephew to go hand the football off. Doesn't matter.
Hey, let me make a scenario for you. This is probably something that probably has never happened before. But let me make a scenario. If I'm a pitcher and I'm pitching almost a no-hitter, right? Because a no-hitter means no hits, but a player can get on base by walking, by not getting a hit.
Correct.
Player gets on base, he steals first, gets to third. Next pitch, he steals, runs home, scores. But I continue to pitch a no hit, and that doesn't happen again. My defense comes up and we don't score. I mean, my offense comes up and we don't score, and the game goes all innings. We lose by 1, but I pitched a no hitter.
You allowed the runner to advance and steal bases. You didn't do a better job of keeping him honest and allowing him to steal.
Okay. All right.
When a base runner steals, whose fault is that?
Okay.
That's my question to you guys. If a base runner steals, whose fault is it?
Could be the pitcher, could be the catcher. He could just be really fast.
So Ricky Henderson's never been picked off?
Yes, he has been picked off.
Then who gives a shit, right? It's somebody's fault when bases get stolen. And the person's fault is the pitcher's fault because he needs to be aware of the base running
situation. What if it was the catcher?
Not the catcher. It can't be the catcher.
Why is it the catcher's job to keep him honest? It's not the catcher's job to keep him honest.
It's the catcher's job to throw him out.
What if the catcher drops the?
You could steal the ball. The guy can get off the bag before the ball is even gone. If you're sitting there monitoring it, you could keep him honest and not letting him get a lead. Whose job is it to keep him honest on the bag before the pitch is thrown?
If a catcher
it's
drops
the pitcher's
a
job.
Pitch, if a catcher drops a pitch, whose fault is that?
It could be the pitcher's fault.
I'm asking you a question.
Fault.
It could be either or. Right?
What's the pitch?
How convenient.
What's the pitch?
That's so great.
What's the pitch? Was it outside? Did he get the tip of the glove on it? Baseball is one of those things where there's a lot of things that go on into it, a lot of factors. He throws a slider, you put your glove in
it. There's a lot of factors.
But again, if a runner is on base and he's getting a lead and you're not keeping him honest, whose fault is that? That is the pitcher's fault. If you let that happen once, you can't let it happen again, and then you can't let it happen again. If you let it happen for first, second, third, and home, you're crazy. That's crazy. You deserve to lose if that's how that happens.
Wow.
You absolutely deserve to lose.
You know, teams steal on catchers.
Mm-hmm.
You could also steal on the pitcher too.
That's the point that I'm making.
Yes, and if you're allowing the catcher
can't be the one that gets stolen on.
I'm not allowing. I'm blaming the pitcher for allowing him to get the lead. The pitcher has to keep him honest.
And I'm telling you that the team steal on catchers. They steal on catchers also. The pitcher has nothing to do with it sometimes.
The pitcher has stuff to do with it.
It's just the catcher. He has to pitch the ball at some point, Dylan. He can't just stand there and hold the ball. He has to
because of the rules. Now because of the rules, he has to.
He has to pitch the ball, Dylan, or the game just doesn't go on. He has to pitch at some point.
Mike, with baseball, up until literally this year, you could go an entire hour just trying to pick a guy off. Baseball never had a stop to that.
But
you can do
that. At some point, he has to pitch the ball. The game can never end until he pitches the ball. At some point, he has to pitch.
And again, I'm being given in a scenario that has literally never happened that I have to defend.
Hey, but it's a scenario that can happen.
No. A scenario where a guy has a no fucking hitter, a guy gets walked, and steals all of the bases to score a run.
Because
I've seen pitchers lose games.
The reason why
you've seen a guy with a no hitter walk a guy, lose the game off of a guy stealing every single base. Just for this specific scenario.
I understand what Dylan is saying. He's upset that he has to argue this point because it's not a practical and it hasn't been done before. But it's a factual thing that can happen if the table.
Anything can fucking happen. Yeah, I can hit a home run on the backswing, hitting the fucking ball this way.
So
on my fucking backswing.
That's why the scenario is created, but it's created to prove the point that things can happen where you're trying to make it seem like, oh, this is only for this. This can't happen because
all of my scenarios that I have given are things that have happened, things that happen all the time.
Okay,
that's my thing. If you could give me multiple scenarios in which it's just not, then fine. But I'm giving scenarios based off of things that are quarterbacks get credit for everything and winning games when they don't do anything. Literally, I'm still waiting for my answer. Mac Jones gets credit for a win throwing the ball 3 times, not a single time in the second half. All he did was hand the ball off, got 1 rushing touchdown, and had 3 fucking turnovers on the other side that scored. How is that Mac Jones win? Because he just played quarterback that day?
I answered you 3 times. He started the game.
He started quarterback. So no matter what, he wins when he does nothing.
In that game, yes, he won.
He gets a win because he did nothing. That's where it's stupid. That's where it's stupid.
He has a touchdown.
He doesn't have a touchdown. He doesn't get credit. You don't get credit for a touchdown as a quarterback for handing the ball off. You get nothing.
You don't think he wrote that play in the huddle? He didn't pick that play in the huddle?
He doesn't pick quarterbacks don't pick plays. Especially a rookie quarterback don't pick the plays.
He's not a rookie.
At that point, he was a rookie.
Okay.
Because this game was his rookie year. Mac Jones still doesn't pick the plays because he's a fucking idiot. That's why they have the headsets. The coaches pick the play. There's only like 4 quarterbacks in the NFL, NBA, or NFL. I'm sorry. NFL who get 2 plays to pick from, and they pick one or they audible out of it. That's why wins and losses are stupid, because Mac Jones gets credit for a win by people like Mike, who thinks quarterbacks a win and loss act, for handing the ball off 50 times. Not being responsible for a touchdown. Not being responsible for any of the scoring, just handing the ball off, letting the lineman block, and letting the running back do all the rest of the work while the defense does all the other scoring. But Mac Jones gets the credit. That's stupid as hell. Zach Wilson gets credit for a win when there's a fucking pick 6 or multiple interceptions that lead to 3 points because the quarterback can't complete passes.
Yep.
You can see how stupid that sounds.
Did he start the game?
Who cares? Who cares? So you're saying so I can start my nephew at quarterback. If the team gets carried by the run game, no completions, and the defense scoring, my nephew gets credit for the win? No, he does not.
Yes,
that is a team game. There's a reason it's a 53-man roster, and one guy gets the credit. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't think that there's stats for all of those players, their win-loss records? You don't think all the players have their win-loss records?
It's a team sport. Who cares? It's a team sport. Do we talk about LeBron's individual wins and losses as on his career? No, we talk about, he played on a team that won 63 games. LeBron didn't win 63 games. The fucking Cavaliers won 63 games.
Cares, and it's not a stat. It's two different things, though.
Do we track individual wins and losses for any other position in any sport besides pitchers?
Yes. It doesn't get publicized, but yes.
So
I can go get you Derek Jeter's record. Yes, I could pull that stat up. Yes, I can pull that stat up.
You would not be pulling Derek Jeter. You would not be pulling up Derek Jeter's stats. You'd be pulling up the Yankees record.
Name the player.
You'd be pulling up the Yankees.
I promise you, I can pull up their win-loss record. Name any player
off the top of your head right now.
I don't know it. I don't know it, but I bet you I can find the stat.
So how many wins does Jalen Hurts have this year?
How many
wins does Jalen Hurts have this year?
10.
10? How many wins does LeBron James have this year?
I don't know how many.
Because it doesn't fucking matter.
But does it exist, Dylan? Does it exist?
It does. It does exist.
You go and get team records. You go. So? There's only one guy playing basketball.
Dylan,
there's one guy playing basketball.
There is LeBron James player you can name that I cannot go get their win-loss record. Not one in the history of sports. There's not one that you can name that I can't go get their win-loss record.
Why does one player? It's a 5-on-5 team. There are 15 guys on the roster. One person does not. It's not an individual stat. It is not an individual stat.
He's correct.
This is the same argument about fucking rings, where rings determine everything.
It's not.
It is because it's winning, right? It's winning. All wins, only rings matter, right?
Because we're not talking legacy right now, Dylan. We're not talking legacy.
I'm not talking legacy. I'm talking championship. I'm just talking as a whole.
We're talking wins and losses.
So going forward, this is the standard that is going to be held. I want to know all the time what the individual player's record is. Win-loss. That's it. Because this is the stupidest thing of all time. I'm now running away with it. Mike, going forward, I only want individuals' wins and losses because this is the can of worms you want open.
Legacy.
No,
we're not talking legacy. You're moving the goalposts.
But wins and losses.
You're moving the goalposts right now because you're mad.
So going forward,
regardless,
there is I don't want to refer to anything. So I want. What was LeBron James' record last year?
I bet you I can go find it.
What was LeBron James' record last year?
I'll go find it.
Go ahead, get me.
I'll go find it.
Go get me LeBron James' record last year.
It exists.
Go get me LeBron James' record. And going forward, this is how I want everything to be referred to. I don't want anything else. I don't want team stats. I don't want nothing. I want LeBron James' record. I want individual players' records because this is how stupid this is.
You are going to be very upset.
It's going to be so stupid.
It's not a player that it doesn't exist. I'm sorry to tell you. LeBron James's record last year was 30-25. Next.
Why? But why do we do going forward? This is how I want everything done. That's it.
Next, you're arguing legacy, and I'm telling you,
how am I arguing legacy? I said going forward
because that's what you're trying to move it to.
No,
I said it with rings.
I moved back from rings. I moved the goalpost. I moved it right back. Going forward, I only want individual wins and losses. That's all I care about now.
And
so this is the flag you're planting on. That's it.
There's not a player you can name that I can't go get their win-loss record. There's not one. I will find it every time. Every time.
It's fine.
Who is the guy that you was talking about earlier, James? That was on the Sixers and the Suns that I had never heard of?
Richard Dumas.
I'll find his win-loss record right now.
Yep, I know.
It
exists.
All right, that's all that matters.
Right now. Richard Dumas.
What did you say LeBron's record was last year?
30-25. Richard
35-28, you said.
That's all I want. That's all I want going forward. That's all I want going forward. So,
yeah. I remember this dude. God. Ooh.
So, are we doing it for all positions in football now?
Dylan, this is your...
No. I want clarity. Are we doing it in all positions or just quarterback?
All positions.
For what?
All positions now. That's it. Because we have confirmed by that winning and losing is not just a quarterback stat. It is now an individual stat as a whole, a 53-man team stat.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the end, we have come to the conclusion that winning is not just a quarterback stat. Thank you.
It's not. I don't know why you're so mad.
Because we've taken a walk to get to my exact point that winning isn't just a quarterback stat.
But we focus on quarterbacks.
We don't. We focus as the team because now Jalen Hurts isn't 11-1. Jason Kelce is 11-1. He's the center. He's the one snapping the football to the quarterback. That is now the important position. He is 11-1. Not just Jalen Hurts. He is 11-1. And then Lane Johnson is 11-1.
Yeah, I was saying you're absolutely right.
Jalen Hurts is 11-1.
They both are.
Team is 11-1.
11-1.
Yes.
It's not just a quarterback stat. It's everybody's stat. It's a team stat.
If you look up their individual stats, they're also 11-1.
It's the same thing.
Team stat. Giving a quarterback credit for a win and a loss.
I see what you're trying to do. You're moving because you're going to use.
I'm not moving the goalposts.
You're going to use this for legacy, and I know that this.
I'm not using. I don't give a. I moved it back. Fuck legacy, Michael. I've said that already 5 minutes ago, but you were too busy fucking talking. I said fuck legacy. Going forward, everything is just an individual win or loss stat. I don't care about anything else.
So what are you going to do with those stats?
No, I'm just going to hold you accountable to them because I want you to have them at the ready every week for the podcast going forward. Because we're not
every player in the league.
Every player you want to talk about, you better have that win-loss record ready. You better have that win-loss record. I don't care about points per game.
What?
I don't care about none of that. I want it available. If you're going to mention a player, if you're going to mention the Clippers and James Harden, I need to know his win-loss record. I need to know Kawhi Leonard's win-loss record. I need all of it.
Again, why do you need it?
Because that is the way we have decided this is going forward now with stats.
Decided what?
We have decided the only thing wins and losses are now players, not teams. So I don't care.
He provides you with those stats, then what?
I'm going to thank you. Thank you for having them. This is how I expect it going forward. Wins and losses are position players now, not teams. That's it.
All because you don't want to acknowledge NFL quarterbacks having wins and losses?
No, it's because it's not a wins. Like, that is not a quarterback stat. It is not a quarterback stat. It's a team stat. The fact that one player out of the 22 players that play is the only one that gets credit for wins and losses is stupid.
They're not, though. We just don't focus on the other players.
They are. Because you literally are sitting here having an argument with me for 35 minutes about how it's a quarterback stat when there are 22 players that play.
I just think that this argument.
So now
this argument is very. I think this argument is very lewd and childish, but at the same time, he's proven a point, Dylan. He's proven a point because what happens is a lot of people, even with basketball, like they say stuff about LeBron, like, oh, I can't believe. Like, oh, LeBron brought that team to be such and such and such record, or LeBron carried that Cavaliers team to the finals, or Michael Jordan is 6-6 in the 6-0 in the finals and stuff like that. They make these players have individual stats, regardless of if it's a team.
The problem with what you're saying, James, is in basketball you can literally prove just by points per game and all that stuff that LeBron was carrying those teams. Whereas Jalen Hurts can't do his job unless the 5 guys in front of him are doing their job and the 3 guys on the outside are doing their job. That's why it's not fair for a quarterback to get all the credit, because everybody has to do their job in order for him to do his. In basketball, LeBron James can literally just take the ball up, not pass to a single person, and just score.
No, there is it is kind of fair as well, because there have been times where players have bad games and their team still wins, and they'll say, "Oh, Bron had a bad game and they still won."
great. I'm not seeing how that has anything to do with the 11 other guy or the 10 other guys on the offense who have to do their job in order for the quarterback to do theirs. Where LeBron, literally basketball is the only sport where you always have complete control of what you're doing. LeBron can literally have the ball inbounded to him, take that ball, go to the other side of the court, and then score. He doesn't need nobody else. Move out of the way, ISO, score. Move out of the way, ISO, score.
So he doesn't
do that.
He doesn't need his
watched him do that
teammates at
against
all.
Detroit in 2007.
He don't need his teammates at all, right?
You need obviously you need teammates, but LeBron James gets the Pistons overtime. Did he need his teammates? No, he did not.
He did.
Why? What did they do?
He did. Defensively, he needed them. He can't see. He couldn't guard all five.
Did they score?
He couldn't guard all. Yes, they scored.
They not in overtime. No, they did not.
Oh my God.
He scored 27 straight in overtime. So no,
he
did not
needed his teammates to stop on defense. He can't score all. He can't guard all five positions at the same time.
Do you need to score points in basketball, James?
You also need to get stops.
So if their team scores one basket, I don't score a basket, and then going forward, nobody else makes a basket, you lose, right?
True.
Who scored all of the points to have them win?
Yes.
LeBron James.
That's why I said who got
basketball is the single sport where you could control the entire game by yourself.
No, who got stops though?
I don't know. It's not in front of me.
Oh, look it up. It's there for you. You can find it.
In order for me to find who got stops in that game, I would have to go through game logs and watch, and I'm not doing that.
No, you can go to game summary.
I'm not going to read all that.
That is available. It's very easy. I can't look it up because I don't have my laptop in front of me. But it's very easy. Even if you go to even if you go to StatMuse and you look up the game, the summary is there. It'll tell you each shot made and missed in the game summary.
But it doesn't tell you who was guarding that person. It just tells you who was missed.
Okay.
That's what you're asking me to do, something that is more difficult than what you are actually wanting me to do.
But so let me tell you this. Even with them telling you who missed, you'll know if LeBron was guarding him or not.
Will I? I won't.
Yeah, you will.
How will I?
Because LeBron is not guarding Ben. You know LeBron is not guarding Ben Wallace.
LeBron has never guarded Ben Wallace, who is the same size as LeBron James.
All right. He was
never guarded Ben Wallace.
Reason case being he was guarding Chauncey Billups that game. And
the entire game, never guarded anybody else.
In overtime he was. We
never
all
guarded anybody else.
In overtime,
never switched on anybody else.
My words are in overtime, he was guarding Chauncey Billups.
The only way I will be able to guarantee that is if I rewatch all of overtime, and I'm not doing that at 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I will humor you and do that.
Then that means you just have to take my word for it.
Somebody else in overtime of a 2003 basketball or a
when that just means you're gonna have to take
basketball game. Then
that just means you're gonna have to take my word for it. Then
no, I'm going to do it. I just told you I'm going to do it.
Okay, cool. I will rather you.
I'm going to do it because you can't guarantee me that.
Now, I will rather this. This is what I want.
Cool. This has turned into a lot of nothing.
While you do that,
I'm not doing that now. I told you that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said I will do that Friday, and I will send screenshots and tell you all that. I'm not doing that now at 12 at night.
All right.
So again, this has turned into a lot of nothing.
Mike, I just want to point out hashtag Magic45.
Yes, I saw that, James, while y'all were on that walk, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Magic45. That makes them what? 13-5.
I was gonna say 14, 13.
13-5.
Dylan, now's not the time to troll you.
Don't ask me shit.
Yeah, now's not the time. Now's not the time. I'll just leave it alone.
They're a game out. They're a win away from being number one in the East.
Well, I already know where you're gonna go with them next week when we bring back our world famous overrated underrated game. I already know where you're going with that, but I already know where you're going with that. But I was just gonna ask Dylan if he wants to concede Spurs 45 yet. It's over.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
It's not over.
I'm telling you right now, November 30th, it's over.
It's not over.
Mathematically, no, it's not. But realistically,
and how is it over
if
it's mathematically not over?
Then we will play it out. We will ride it.
Yeah, ride the Wilson and goes.
We gonna ride it out.
If there's anything more than 0, it's not over. How many games have we played? 18.
They've lost 14 of them.
Okay. Can they still figure it out? Yes.
They better figure it out quick.
We can figure it out. We watch teams fuck up early and figure it out later on all the time. We see it every year.
Also, Anthony, I know you're watching or when you're listening back to this right now, Victor Wembanyama is 46 in the NBA and Julius Randle is 38. So I know we got a whole season to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say James Impact though. Impact. Impact.
Yeah.
It's funny that Anthony claims to be a Knicks fan, but I didn't hear a peep when the Knicks won last night against the Hornets and Julius Randle dropped 25 and 20. I didn't hear
nothing.
A thing.
He says
but
fuck Julius Randle all the time.
I would say, but I love that Anthony's the Anthony Jinx is working so well for me and James right now because literally, we can go in the chat. Literally, the day he said that Wembanyama was better than Julius Randle has
turned
been
it up.
He's been on a tear since that day. Yep. Julius Randle said, "Heard you," and it has been on ever since. So I feel like we shouldn't say anything, James, because the last thing we need is for Anthony to do his trademark flip flop where he goes, "I love Julius Randle. He's the king of New York. Give that man. It's his team," because that's when Julius will start to tank, and it's a tale as old as time. I'm waiting. I want to see how far Anthony's pride goes before he starts praising Julius Randle because the Knicks are doing good and they keep winning.
It's not going to happen. I don't think that one's happening.
Good.
I don't think that one's happening. I don't think it's happening because when you get to the playoffs and Randle happens to do that thing he does in the playoffs, then Anthony's going to be vindicated because it's going to be, hey, when it matters, he doesn't show up. Who cares about the regular season? He always disappears in the playoffs. That's all it's going to be.
Waiting. Yeah,
he's playing the long game here.
Yeah, that'll be his.
He's playing the long game. He's gonna be like, the regular season doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? Let me
see
what you do in the playoffs.
Julius doesn't play good next week in the in-season tournament, he's probably gonna come flying out of nowhere
from top rope, Jeff Hardy style, right off a 14-foot ladder.
Let's not do that. Let's not take that walk. Let's not take that walk tonight. I mean, I don't even know where we are in the docket anymore. The next thing that I had on here was about the Eagles, but I don't even know if we're even talking about that anymore.
Bye, James.
James. I said Eagles. James said gotta go. I mean, yeah, I have the Eagles. We're supposed to talk about the Ravens. Are they the best team in the NFL? I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now.
They're the most consistent team in the NFL.
I could see if you want to make that argument.
I still don't know about the best. I have to see them against some good teams without Andrews.
I mean, well, without Andrews, I was
without
saying they've played some good.
They
teams,
played good
but,
teams,
yeah.
but I need to see how they do without Andrews.
Without Andrews, I will give you that.
For me to really figure that out, because until I can see that, I will still go with they're the most consistent team and the team that I think they're a team that could literally win every matchup they play.
Yeah.
But I also feel that way with the Niners and the Cowboys and the Eagles. They can win all of them.
No, I don't. You know why that's cap? You gonna pick the Cowboys against the Niners if they were playing this week?
That's the only instance where there's only one team out of the 32 NFL teams I don't think they can beat.
You think they're going to beat the Eagles in a couple weeks?
I think they can. They were right there last time. The Cowboys always play the Eagles well. They always play the Eagles well. I'll add them in. The rivalry stuff always comes out different. The Niners are just too physical for Dallas, where Philly can fight physical with San Fran.
Why is that playing in the background?
Why is what playing in the background?
I still hear.
It's not playing.
I say it's not playing. Nothing.
You must hear Mike talking about white quarterbacks. But no, Baltimore I think can beat every single matchup. I also would say the Niners would be the only other team I don't see them beating. But
if it was in Baltimore, I would pick Baltimore.
I would not. No. I'd pick San Fran.
I wouldn't pick them on the road, but I would pick them at home. I would favor Baltimore against every team in the league if they're home.
Yeah, but that's not the case in the Super Bowl.
I know, but I'm just saying, if they're home, there's not a team I would pick to beat them in their building.
There's not a team in the AFC that I would pick over them.
I wouldn't pick, and the same. That's how I look. The Eagles and the Niners. There's not a team I would pick. I'm picking the Eagles to win this weekend because they're home. Now it's a pick'em game, but I think the Eagles are going to win because the Eagles are home. If that game was in San Francisco, I'd pick the Niners. So I very much think it's a pick'em, but I think the Eagles, the Niners, the Ravens, and the Chiefs are the 4 best teams in football.
I don't trust the Chiefs. It's not even because of Mahomes. It's because those wide receivers are so unreliable. Their defense is so good, but they're not scoring points the way they need to secure these wins. And then you chalk it up to all Pat Mahomes' receivers dropping the most balls in football. That does not help at all. And that's with also having a down year. You can't have all of that happen and Kelsey has a down year because he's the point.
And I still would pick them over the Dolphins.
Yes, because the Chiefs have a defense.
That's what I mean. Outside, everything that you just said is true, and I'm still only picking the Ravens to beat them.
I would, I don't trust Buffalo. I don't trust Miami.
So that's what I mean. That's what I said. Those are the 4 best teams because you tell me outside of Baltimore who you picking to beat Kansas City.
Houston.
Don't say Jeff. I don't think Houston's ready.
I think Houston can do it. I think they're just young and dumb enough to pull it off.
They've got to get the lead. If Houston gets a lead on you, you're in trouble.
Houston has guys on that defense. And they can make that Chiefs wide receiver room difficult.
Oh, hell.
Difficult. So that's why it's
they got to get a lead though.
You gotta find a team that matches up well with Kansas City and you can do it. Miami.
I can see Kansas City coming back on the Texans. I can't see the Texans coming back to beat Kansas City. Can't see it. Especially in Kansas City.
No, that would be difficult. But and they have
not yet.
Not yet. But that's a team. If you told me the Texans beat Kansas City, I would not be shocked.
In the playoffs?
In the playoffs, I'd be like,
on the road?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be
It wouldn't
stunned.
shock me. It wouldn't shock me.
Stunned.
I have a lot of belief in that Houston Texans team.
You do.
I do.
You better get off of my quarterback's train. That's my quarterback.
Pause.
I picked him. you had your
my quarterback
chance.
hasn't played yet.
You had your
he just
chance.
came off of he just opened up his practice window. Hendon Hooker's season coming, baby.
You had your chance.
But bye, James. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because I think that team is just good. I think it's a good football team and a well-coached football team. I think they could do it. I'd be surprised if any other team beat them besides Baltimore. Baltimore and Houston would be my only teams. I don't think so. Miami's defense also was getting better. They lost their best edge rusher. Done. You can't do it without
They're
that.
Not done.
They're not done, but they don't generate sacks. They don't generate sacks without him.
They're another team. Don't let them get in front of you because
they will
run away. They'll run away from you. But
I don't see Miami. Baltimore plays some dumb football against Miami. Always. So, like, I wouldn't put it past them, but I would not expect them to beat Baltimore. I'd expect Baltimore to beat the shit out of them. But again, no Mark Andrews is tough because then you're leaving the game in the hands of old Odell and young Zay Flowers against two really good corners.
Zay is,
he is, but he's not Jalen Ramsey good.
2023 Jalen Ramsey?
2023 Jalen Ramsey is a good football player.
Zay Flowers is a good football player.
And 2023 Zay Flowers is not better than Jalen Ramsey. And 2023 Zay Flowers is also not better than Xavier Howard.
Now that one I would give you, but
I watched 2023 Jalen Ramsey bait a bunch of interceptions already, and I'm like, okay, all right, this guy's kind of back. Helps when you got guys who can create off the edge. Bradley Chubb by himself notoriously does not do that. So we will see.
I don't think Miami's done. I think Miami will have to be dealt with.
Miami will have to be dealt with. Miami's going to run away with this division because the Bills kind of stink, but because the Bills are probably not going to make the playoffs.
Now what? I'm not ready to jump off that yet.
I've been off Buffalo's train. Once they had all those defense, I was like, yeah, I'm off.
To not make the playoffs, I don't know if we're there yet because they're still better than the teams behind them.
The problem is they may be better than teams behind them, but their quarterback doesn't protect the football. He gives games away. You can't keep relying on that. And they still have to play Dallas, Philly. Like they still have to play Miami.
They have to win that Miami game. They have to win it.
I don't think they are.
They have to win that game.
Like they didn't play Jalen Ramsey last time. And Jalen Ramsey's going to be and Miami played a full strength Buffalo defense. They're not playing one right now when they do play. Miami's going to boat race them. And then Josh Allen's going to do that thing he does where he tries to force shit off of a fucking rope down 45 yards and throw it right to a DB down the field. And it's going to be stupid. And I'm be sitting here like, look at that. Another Josh Allen interception. Why do we keep yelling at Dak and not him?
Are the Lions pretenders?
Yeah.
Damn, you didn't even think about it. You didn't even think about it.
The problem is the Lions defense is fucking horrible. They are a bad defense.
It's coming back to earth. They were playing very well in the beginning of the year, and that's why they were winning. And now they're coming back kind of to what we thought they were. And now the Lions are dealing with injuries. So now the Lions look, I mean, they're going to win that division, but they don't look like they're in their they don't look like they're in the A class with the big three.
No.
But I will still say this. Godspeed to whoever has to go play Detroit in that first playoff game in that building. Good luck to you. That first
If
one,
it's one of those wild card teams, then they're fine.
Good luck to you. Well, that's who they're going to be playing.
That wild card teams,
they're going to get the 3 seed, so they're going to play Atlanta or I don't even know what the NFC standings look like. Atlanta, whoever's in the West. Like I don't even know who's making the playoffs.
Philly's 1, San Fran's 2, Detroit's 3, and
NFC
whoever
South
wins the NFC South is 4.
It's 4.
And then
the
it'll
Cowboys
be Dallas.
will be 5. Dallas will be 5, and they're going to mop up whoever's in the NFC South again. And then I don't honestly know who is 6. Is it Tampa?
Seattle?
Seattle. Yeah, see, I don't like Seattle in that game. Not the way they're playing right now.
Like Minnesota.
Whoever insert team that gets that last
Me and Steven have come to the conclusion that Minnesota is that 7th team.
Now if Josh Dobbs is playing like that, although them receivers was not helping on Monday.
Josh Dobbs, I kept on saying this in the chat. I'm like, Josh Dobbs threw 4 interceptions and still only lost by 1 point.
And honestly, I really only think 1 or 2 of those interceptions was his fault. That again, Dylan, that's a game. I don't know if it was you or Raz. Not all interceptions are equal. It was Raz.
I didn't watch that game. I really didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. Well, I did. I watched pieces.
It was too much more important. There was to watch.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those more important things. But Dylan, literally, the ball hit him in the helmet and ricocheted in the air and got intercepted. I can't that's an interception, but I don't know what else Josh Dobbs can do. If the ball goes through your hands, it hits you in the face. What else can he do?
Throw it at the body. But that's nitpicking.
Thank you.
No, I agree with you. Like interceptions are interceptions, but they're
not all interceptions. There's context.
They're not the same.
Context.
That's why I hate with arguing football with Roz, because numbers are the end all be all, but context doesn't matter at all. Like Brock Purdy, so much better than Zach Wilson. You put Brock Purdy on this Jet team, he is just as bad. Because he has the same play calling.
They're a little better, but I
want to know who Brock Purdy is? He's Tim Boyle.
Not Zach Wilson.
He's Tim Boyle.
Come on, Dylan, stop.
He's check down. First read, check down. First read, check down. First read, but that's just what the offense is. I'm using that as I'm not using it to say he's just as bad as Tim Boyle. I'm using it as the offense is this. The offense was, hey, drop down, nothing immediate, running back. Drop down, nothing there, running back. That's what he would be there. I would take Brock Purdy if I also got Kyle Shanahan. You can't just take a quarterback and have him be the same somewhere else. It doesn't work that way.
I think you just hit the real nail on the head with the problem with the Jets is Nathaniel Hackett is
dog shit.
He's got
Nathaniel Hackett, but I've been saying that for weeks though. Nathaniel Hackett is only there because of Rodgers. Rodgers is the only quarterback ever who could run that offense. That's it. He's the only one. Because I don't want to get into it. I don't want to do it. I didn't want to. I'm not taking your invitation for a walk. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm declining.
And I don't want to do Jet talk. What were we talking about? The Lions?
Yeah, the Lions. Yeah, Lions defense is dog shit. They shouldn't have lost to that Green Bay Packer team. They shouldn't have. And then Dan Campbell's just reckless on 4th down.
Very reckless.
Just absolutely reckless on 4th down.
That's why they love him, though.
At some point, you have to be like, all right, put the balls away and like use the math. You got to use math.
It's gonna cost them a player. It's gonna cost them.
Like that's why I was like, if I'm a Lions fan, I'd be a little concerned. And the Ross like, they're 8-3 or whatever the fuck it is. They'll be fine. I'm like, yeah, but if you want to like really compete, you can't just have your coach going for it on 4th down all the goddamn time. So like that, I can't do it. Every time it's like 4th down, I'm pussy. I won't go for it. Say I won't. And he's like, fuck it, go for it. They're like 1 for 7. Why are you going for it inside the 15? Just kick the field, take the points. If they would have kicked like 3 field goals, they would have won. Like, what are we doing? Be better. We were talking about that 7th team in the NFC.
So
round 1, they'll just ramp. I think Tampa can beat them.
They haven't closed these games, but Baker Mayfield's not playing bad.
He's not playing bad, and the weakness of that Lions team is their offense, and Mike Evans has a 98% chance of catching a touchdown in the end zone because he doesn't drop the ball. That's like, in the red zone, he has caught 98% of all his passes. He's almost a guaranteed touchdown in the red zone.
I just want to interrupt because I have the Kings Clippers game on, and it just ended, and the Clippers just won by like 15-16. But I just want to point out that the Clippers went for an alley-oop with 30 seconds to go.
And a fight didn't break out?
It did not break out. The Kings promptly came down and tried to shoot a 3, and then the Clippers just dribbled the clock out. But there were no handshakes at the end of this game. The Kings just walked off the court. I don't know if that's something, if I'm making something out of nothing, but I didn't like that alley-oop with 30 seconds to go. That's up 15. That's in a non-in-season tournament game. That is,
I mean, in an in-season tournament game, why are we doing that? Like, just let the clock go.
Can we talk about them fouling Drummond with
That's bad.
That's nasty work.
That's nasty work.
Nasty
you can't do that.
Right
you like, really, even Missoula's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Billy Donovan's just like, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
That's nasty.
If I'm going down, you ain't going nowhere. That's crazy.
Trying an alley-oop with 30 seconds left. And by the way, they missed the alley-oop too, which makes it worse, I think.
Someone's gonna be talking shit in the press conference.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm making something out of nothing, but the Kings literally just walked off the court. And we all see the end of these regular season games. Hey, bro, I'm gonna see you later. Talk to you later. See you at the club later tonight. Kings just walked off. So
You're correct, James. I got it mixed up.
I don't know. Can't wait till they play again. Can't wait till they play.
And then the end of that game is going to be alley-oop from half court or a bounce alley-oop. They're going to do something crazy disrespectful, and then one of them is going to, I don't know, who would be the one that gets upset? Paul George? Or no, PJ Tucker. It would be PJ Tucker.
No, PJ Tucker. Russell Westbrook hates that. Russell Westbrook hates that. So yeah, you do that to the Clippers.
PJ Tucker has been involved in a few of those end of game, like taking a half court 3 or whatever, like skirmishes.
Don't do that. Yeah, PJ Tucker does not like that. Russ doesn't like that. Paul George doesn't really either. Kawhi doesn't care about life, so. but yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Yes, DeMar DeRozan also is not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of it at all. He got thrown out. He got thrown out of the game because of that. No, I ain't waiting around here for y'all to run this up. So, are we done with foosball? Wait, no, we're not done with foosball because we have to talk about bad franchises do bad franchise things. And the Carolina Panthers firing the coach that they just hired, I think I saw 7 months ago, firing him after 10, 11 games. Granted, they're 1-10 and they're the worst team.
It's a fireable offense.
Not in the first. I don't know about you. I was shocked. I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it now. I expected it at the end of the season.
Maybe at the end of the season, but why now? Like, what? Especially when it's not
winning 3 more games.
Especially when it's not his fault that y'all don't have draft picks next year. He didn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Y'all did that.
You're going to see a lot more first-year head coaches get shorter leashes with a lot of these like young play callers out of these like legacy systems coming out.
Frank Wright is not a young guy.
Yeah, he's also not a good head coach.
He has not been a good head coach.
So it's like, okay. The problem, so Roz wanted Frank Reich to be our offensive coordinator. And he was like, oh, he was the offensive coordinator of Philly. He didn't call the plays in Philly. Doug Peterson called the plays in Philly. We saw this Frank Reich in Indy. Was it great? Did he have the greatest like quarterbacks to play with for him? No.
Nope.
But like,
he didn't do them
no favors.
Do you have the best owner to work for? No.
Yeah. But a lot of these first-year head coaches are not like rookie head coaches. I'm talking about like first year in general. If you're not going to win more games than the year before, you're probably going to get fired.
That's ridiculous to me.
Unless there's like circumstances where it's like if you already took over a like 2-win team, your job is probably safe.
That's the way it should. Like, you're not getting this job because the team was great. You're getting a job because the team was bad.
Yeah.
So you should be in a
the Panthers
rebuild.
didn't have the number 1 pick because they were awful last year. They had the number 1 pick because they traded for it. And it just so happens what you gave up to trade for it made you bad enough to have the first overall pick this year, but you don't have it. And it's really is Frank Reich's fault because his play calling is abysmal and he's not doing anything to help Bryce Young out at all with this play calling.
I think that's why more so he got fired, because you would look at that roster on paper, you would not think that team was 1-10.
I thought this team could have won the division with the talent they have on this roster.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I thought that was crazy.
Did you think they were a 1-win team?
No, I didn't think they were a 1-win team.
But again, you could win this division with like 8 wins.
I don't think they're a 500 team either. Like, they're about 5 or 6.
The winner of this division is probably going to have a losing record.
More than likely. I mean, Tampa's playing. Tampa's losing, but they're playing well. It's weird.
Yeah, but again, if you could win this division with a losing record, then the Panthers could have won this division.
It's not going to matter because Dallas is going to mop up whoever wins it.
Whoever it is.
Like, it literally doesn't. You can put them all together, and Dallas will mop them all up.
If anything, the GM should have been fired.
Should absolutely be fired. He shouldn't be allowed to pick this coach.
You shouldn't have been allowed to pick this coach. This coach didn't get him a good defensive coordinator because there's talent on that defense. There's a lot of talent on that defense. It doesn't help that J.C. Horn keeps getting hurt every year, but there is talent on that defense. Really top-tier talent. And they don't get a chance to do anything because they're constantly on the field. They're getting destroyed. They're getting gassed. They're getting tired because they have to be on the field all the goddamn time. You didn't help with the offensive line. They have arguably the worst offensive line in football as a starting unit. Like, I don't think they have injuries on their offensive line. They have a top 5 they have a top 5 pick at left tackle. Like, they have invested some resources in this offensive line, and it's horrible. It's not like it's the Jets offensive line where literally every single person is injured. We're a 3rd string left tackle, 6th string right guard. Like, the offensive line is patchwork, but like that is their starting unit. The GM probably gonna, if he gets another, well, he can't even really get another crack at it. He doesn't have any draft picks, but I don't know what you do. Who do you bring in? Like, I said Joe Brady. Gonna fuck around and be the head coach of that team.
I've heard his name,
but I think he's already been involved with this team because I think he was an offensive assistant under Matt Rule, if I remember correctly. So he may be familiar with David Tepper, and he may not want to go back.
I would say that we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
So, like, I don't know. That's a bad job to take. But
yes.
But they're probably going to look for somebody out of the Sean McVay tree.
That's a bad job to take, which means, without question, a black head coach is going to get that job. That's how it works. Everybody thought that Houston job was a horrible job. Don't look so bad now, do it.
To be fair, when he took the job, it was a horrible job.
It was
a dumpster fire job to take.
I'm just saying, the dumpster fire jobs, those seem to be the jobs that the black head coaches get, and then we want to fire them 2 years into the job when there's nothing here. Meanwhile, Jeff Saturday gets a playoff team out of ESPN's studio.
Did he get a playoff team?
No, because he stinks.
They were not that good last year.
They stink. They stink.
They were not a playoff team. That's a terrible example.
It's a bad example, but you get what I'm trying to say. Stop trying to kill my point. All right, the Colts stink. That's all that matters. The Colts stink.
Well, hey, Frank Reich got fired 1 year, 1 year in. So Bieniemy's not gonna. I don't think Bieniemy's gonna get a job offer after this shit job they're doing in Washington.
I mean, I think you're right, but I don't know if he's done a shit job because Sam Hoyle actually looks like a decent quarterback, and I would not have said that last year. He doesn't look that. He doesn't look god awful, Dylan. He does. He makes some.
Steven makes a great point where Sam Howell is just the new Jameis Winston, where his highs are high, but those lows are fucking terrible. There's some plays where it's like, yo, Sam Howell looks playable, and there's some plays where it's like, what the fuck is Sam Howell doing? That can't. And they play a lot of their games from coming from behind. So, like, Sam Howell leads the NFL in passing.
They're always losing.
They are always losing. Sam Howell leads the NFL in passing yards.
That's what I mean. But that looks good. Regardless of context, that looks good on the resume. I had Sam Howell lead the league in passing yards. That's a hell of a statement. Regardless of how and why that happened.
Football, there's too many smart people involved in these organizations that are like, yeah.
Are there smart people in football? Are there?
Jameis Winston, after his time in Tampa, literally was relegated to a backup role no matter where he was going to go.
And I think
because there are smarter people in football.
I still think he's better than a couple of these starting quarterbacks out here right now.
Yeah, but then if you play him, he's going to fuck around and win some games, and you're going to be out of your draft position. And then you're going to be mad at him.
Tries to outsmart themselves.
Yes.
That's why. They have the same mindset of Raj. Just tank. That is.
Ross has rooted for the tank more than he's actually rooted for the Jets in games this year.
And there is not a concept that I disagree with him more on. I hate the idea of tanking. I hate everything about it.
I'm cool with the idea if there's nothing left, right? The problem is he's very wrong here with what's going to happen. He's very wrong with what's going to happen. The writing's on the wall. It's right here. It's all here. I've read this book before. I'm a prophet when it comes to this shit, Mike. I know what the Jet organization is going to do all the time because it's in my blood. It's in my bones. Ross thinks they're just going to do the sensical thing. When? We traded for a 39-year-old quarterback. When are we doing the sensible thing? We bent the knee to a 39-year-old quarterback for all the shit that we have. Sensical. Right. Let's do shit that makes sense. Right. Devontae Adams will be a Jet next year because the Raiders are going to take that pick, and he's going to be furious. And if Rodgers sets foot on the field, he's going to go from enjoy the ride, this is going to be awesome, to I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers. And I will laugh in real time. And I will just point at him and say, you wanted this. You wanted this.
This is what you wanted.
This is what you wanted. This is what I wanted to avoid. You wanted this. I would have found Derek Carr.
And you would have been right. Because you'd have a different OC, so.
Yep. Butterfly effect. Love being right.
All right, let's get to the fun stuff. The biggest news in the sports entertainment world happened this weekend.
R-Truth is back.
I am not going to lie to you. I did pop when I saw R-Truth. I did. Because I was not expecting it. And, of course, it was a funny segment. The truth is loose. they're forcing that Tozawa dance, and I'm not liking it. And he doesn't even do the same dance every week. But nevertheless, at Survivor Series this weekend in Chicago, Randy Orton came back. They played it off very well.
No, they didn't.
It made sense, because why would you have Randy come out for a pop and then stand in the cage for 30 minutes?
No, I think they more so did it. My thing was, why are you gonna have Randy, who's just coming off of like fusion back surgery, to be a part of this match? Like, we know he's here. Don't insult my intelligence. Like, his wife is in the front row. His wife's in the front row. Shut the fuck up. Like, we know this. Don't have him.
There's no doubt in my mind that he was
have him come
coming
and
out.
save the day and bounce.
But that's what I mean. I think they did that well.
Yes.
He didn't take one bump, which was nice. I thought he was going to turn heel, but he didn't.
Too soon.
And when I saw him without the beard, I knew, because Randy only turns heel when he has a beard. So
except for like 2011 Randy.
Except bald head Randy, yeah, except that psychopath, because that was a psychopath. But outside of that psychopath, when Randy grows a beard, danger's coming. But it was great. The show was going off. I don't know about you. I went to the movies that night and then came back and watched Survivor Series.
Oh, I was watching live.
I'm so glad you didn't call me or do anything, because I purposely, because I knew I was going to be in the movies, phone off. Got out the movie theater. Your first instincts to check your phone. Yeah. And then I was like, no, Mike, no.
I was waiting for you to say something, because I didn't want to. I'm the same way with my brother, where it's like we don't message each. Like we'll wait for each other to message each other for wrestling to see what's happening. So he'll message me the first match. Okay, I know he's watching. You didn't hit me with the Dylan. Are you watching Survivor Series? So I knew you weren't around.
Because the women's Survivor Series, the women's War Games match was very good. Also,
was much better than the men's match. I know.
I actually would agree with that. But yes, so here I am, Dylan. I got back from the movie theater. I got back in the house at 1:40 in the morning. And I was like, I really should not watch this pay-per-view. But I was like, my plan was, let me just see how far I get. And then I'll watch the rest of the morning. And then the women's match was first. And I was like, cool, that's what I expected. And it was good. So I was like, all right, cool. I did not expect Gunther and The Miz to be as good as it was.
Yep. That was a very good match.
And I'm glad it was as good as it was, because that's the only reason I stayed awake, because that match had my attention. I promptly skipped Dragon Lee and Escobar.
That was a banger. It's just,
I heard it was good. I
hate Mexicans, right so it's all right.
Fast forwarded right through that match. I watched Rhea and Zoe.
You should have skipped that match.
It was okay. It was okay. You just knew Rhea was gonna win. That's all.
They don't do a good job with her doing Judgment Day and her own thing. They need to do better.
Then the men started, and I was like, all right, I gotta power through this. I was tired, but I was like, gotta get through it. It was a okay match. There was some cool spots. It was okay. And then Randy came out and did his thing, and it did feel rushed. But Randy coming out gave me a little boost. Okay, there's Randy. All right, cool. And then if you're a Triple H NXT fan, you know
not to go when the logo pops up.
When the logo popped, it did not. I was sitting here and I was like, nah, I needed to fade to black. I
was right here. I had my phone. I was ready to go do something else, and all of a sudden,
here I am at almost 4 a.m, literally picking up my phone to now go through all of the Survivor Series stuff. I looked down and then I heard the and 4 a.m, Cass is asleep. I'm sitting here. I jumped and I was like, nope, I need to see. It was one of those for me.
I needed to see it.
See him walk out. I don't care about the music.
Same.
I need to see him. When he walked out, I instantly the live reaction for me. I yelled, "Oh shit!" That was just I couldn't believe. 10 years I've been waiting for that moment.
It's almost like 10 years exactly because he got fired on Black Friday. It was my first Black Friday with Best Buy. Yeah, I literally was sitting here like this, and my reaction was, oh, they actually did it.
They did it.
They actually did it.
And I promptly woke Cass up with my yelling. And I'm still kind of in a like it's weird. It doesn't feel real. Like it doesn't feel real. But we're covering it because over all the social media platforms, 71 million people watched CM Punk come back. It was the number one trend on X. It had Anthony talking. It had Roz talking. I had people hitting me up the next day, asking if I saw it. What a moment in this wrestling game. What a moment.
Yeah. I'm not a big Punk fan.
Yes, I know.
I'm not a big Punk fan. Because I know who Punk is. I know what he is. I've known for over a decade who he is. I read today that he's got a behavior clause in his contract, which makes it even funnier to me that they had to even do that. Because he's just ridiculous sometimes with the things he does. I think it's great for WWE only if you can get as close to organic as you can get in the performances. That promo he cut on Monday was terrible. That was very watered down, like, hey, I'm a good guy. Da, da, da. When he said I changed, I was like, I'm turning this shit off. I am turning this shit off. Because that's ridiculous.
I felt it was, everyone was saying that he didn't mention AEW. I thought that was a subliminal shot to AEW.
I think he signed an NDA and he can't say anything.
I've heard that too. A lot of people think that that's what it is.
Because the rumor going around is that he just wants to move past AEW and just keep it pushing. I'm like, or he can't. And I don't think they'll mention AEW on WWE TV. They're not going to acknowledge him.
I don't think they're going to acknowledge it at all.
I think
they don't really acknowledge Cody being in AEW.
It's from time to time with the EVP thing and yada yada yada, because he referenced the EVP in the press conference after Survivor Series, and it was pretty funny. But I think it's good to have him with Rollins right away. I've never been a big proponent of putting him back into title pictures because then his ego comes out.
I mean, it's not a real title anyway.
Exactly. That's the problem here. This is a fake sport. This is a fake sport. And this guy has an ego about a fake sport. I said when AEW signed him that I said that this is a massive deal for the wrestling world to have CM Punk back. I think this could be great if he uses this as an outlet for the company. The worst thing they could do is put him in a title picture. And then once they put him in the title picture, everything went to shit. I'm not saying he's only at fault here. He's not, but he is at fault.
Absolutely not. And it's also not his fault he got injured.
No, but he is of blame too. Because he is the guy that when he wins the title in WWE, he goes, I'm the locker room leader now. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. This is a fake title. This is a fake title. This isn't the 80s anymore. This isn't the 90s anymore where the top guy is the locker room leader and then you have to go and you have to say that you're the locker room leader. No, then you're not the locker room leader. Clearly not. That's always been a problem with me and him. His problem, my problem with him. That's always been my problem with him. He has an ego in a fake sport. Huh?
I don't think he knows you.
No, that's my problem with him. He has an ego in a fake sport. Like, shut the fuck up, guy. Just do what you're told. And that ego got to him in AEW. Granted, again, that's shit show. But if they could control that ego, I hate that they're putting him in a title picture right away just for him to lose. Even if he does win, if they were to take the belt off him with Priest cashing in, that'd be lovely. But good for money. Good for the company. That's going to draw ratings. Punk has a cult fan base of 90% of the wrestling world.
I thought you was going to say of personality. Hey-o.
No, I also hate that they're using the remastered version of that song.
I did not like that. I did not like
dog shit. As somebody who was a fan of that song and
love
In Living Color before CM Punk started using it, that's dog shit. I pointed out right away. My buddy was like, it's not that different. So I'm like, no, it's absolutely different.
If you know that song,
if you are a fan of that song, you know it.
I instantly knew. Because my timing was off. My singing was off. And I was like, what is this? What is this? This is not the song. What are y'all doing?
Because there's a certain company that has the rights to that, I believe.
Probably.
To that version of the song.
That's probably what happened. I'm very interested to see if they perform him at WrestleMania, though.
That'll be sick. I think they should continue the trend of not having him main event a Mania. Just because I think that on-running joke is hilarious, and then he kind of has to eat shit from saying you get to main event night 4 of a buy one get one WrestleMania.
There's a lot of competition for that Mania night 1, that main event night 1. There's a lot of competition because I don't care what anybody says. Jade Bianca is still the match that I want to see.
It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Jade or Bianca Rhea is still top tier night 1.
You can't keep having Bianca win Royal Rumbles though.
Yeah, I don't know how we get there.
That's what I'm saying. You can't just keep having that happen.
I don't know how we get there, but
I would love for the women to be able to main event that, but I feel like if you can't book anything better,
there's a lot of drama.
You have to just let the Rumble match be the main event.
Or Jay versus Jimmy. Or Punk versus
I think that opens up the show. Punk versus Seth is going to be done by that time. I'm convinced.
Brock and Gunther. Like
Gunther.
There's a lot of avenues. My
idea is my favorite one.
LA Knight versus Gunther. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can do this.
Damian Priest cashes in on whoever wins at Rumble. Finn wins the Rumble.
I wasn't mad at your idea. I was not mad at.
And then you spend like 6 weeks building up the breakup of the Judgment Day.
I think
having them like, no, we could coexist, and then it keeps going and going. You turn Priest face, and he leaves it. And it's just over. And then the breakup of the Judgment Day for over a 6-week period would be wonderful TV. Wonderful TV. So give me all that. Keep CM Punk away from my main event.
It's going to be very interesting what they do because they have a lot of avenues. There's a lot of wrestlers at their disposal now.
Yeah, they're gonna have like Bobby Lashley and LA Knight not be on fucking WrestleMania at all.
Well, that's why they have 2 nights though. So
I mean, 2 nights you still couldn't find a way to get LA Knight on last year. Yeah. It's dumb. They need to figure it out. Be better.
I think they will be. There's a new man in charge.
We'll see.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
We'll see. I also pick a show. Like, stop having these guys on both shows. Just you have a brand split for a reason. Like Randy can't keep just showing up on both shows.
Yeah, because he basically said.
I think he should just be SmackDown.
I think they're sending him to SmackDown. I think that's what's going to happen. That they're just going to send him over there.
And
there's no reason for him to stay. Like Riddle's gone. Like there's no.
I also
nothing.
think he's going to cost Roman the belt at Mania for Cody. That'd be the final receipt that he's got to give out. So can't wait for that to happen and be like, yep, called it months ago. I also said he was going to do it last year, but it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Late. But who knows? If they need, I hope they do something good. Like after Punk is in this thing with Seth Rollins, I don't know what you do with him.
I mean, even Punk versus Kevin Owens, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I just don't know what you do because it's like, oh, you just kind of relegate him to mid card.
Would you have him take the belt from Gunther?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that's disrespectful to Gunther.
Best in the world.
You do all that time to build up that title, and then it's going to get tossed around again.
It's going to get tossed around the moment he drops it, though.
I don't think so. If it's
who
how
takes
I
it.
want it to be.
Oh, fantasy booking.
I think if you use that IC belt as your vehicle for LA Knight, I think you could get a similar thing.
Then how do you get him to Raw?
Trade. The same way you got Jay.
Randy?
Randy's a free agent.
That's what they said? He's a free agent?
Yeah. That's what he's on the WWE website, I think. No, but that's a problem you could run into later. That's not anything right now. You could find a way to get LA Knight there. Maybe Drew McIntyre?
I don't think Drew's going to take that belt.
Exactly. You trade LA Knight for Drew McIntyre.
Oh. Having heel Drew on SmackDown does nothing.
Having heel Drew on Raw does nothing.
I like heel Drew on Raw.
I like heel Drew too, but now that he's like his Seth thing is going to be over. He's going to do this, and then he'll go into the CM Punk feud, and then what is Drew going to do after?
I don't know. We say this every couple of months with Drew.
Exactly. He also has a contract, so it's like at least if you could get him on SmackDown, you move LA Knight there, you immediately have somebody for Cody to feud with. Because you got heel guy trying to win the title. And then you elevate my guy, Karrion Kross.
That's where you lose me.
Racist.
He doesn't even claim his own people.
You don't like Puerto Ricans.
He doesn't like Puerto Ricans.
He claims to be Puerto Rican.
When?
In interviews. Because he's not running around in an LWO shirt. He's not claiming to be Puerto Rican, Mike.
That man does not rep his people.
Do I?
At all.
Do I?
You do. You claim all of them at one point.
Yeah, once every 4 years. Once every 4 years, baby.
So yeah. So hashtag CM Punk is back. Ha ha to all the haters.
They also cheapened Randy's return by doing that.
A little bit.
That was not fair to Randy.
I think they underestimated how much Randy was missed. I think that might have been more of it.
Yeah.
I think they underestimated that.
And Randy's in great shape. He came out and I was like, what the fuck? Randy's never been yoked like that before.
I will say, go ahead, say it. Go ahead. Hey,
guy's jacked.
Got that AO ready for you.
Nah, it's just Randy's on TRT. He's getting up there in age. He's got that TRT.
Getting up there in age, back fusion.
It's all right, Randy. You look great, my guy. Also not a massive Randy fan, but I was happy to see him.
You're crazy.
Because my brother's a fucking Randy Orton stan. Huh?
He's the GOAT of that era.
He's better than John Cena?
Yes. Yes. I am not a big John Cena guy.
I'm also not a big John Cena guy, but I can understand John Cena's better than Randy Orton. I also have another friend who is addicted to Randy Orton. And I'm like, you're fucking weird. Like, you got to watch Raw tonight. Randy's going to be there. I was like, all right, man. I can't keep doing this with you. Yeah, no, he's not the greatest there. You're a psychopath.
Is James still here? Is he gone? If he's gone, we'll just do this little side note and move on to closing the show. We had our first upset college basketball this year. Duke lost.
Is it upset?
Ranked Arkansas? Yeah.
I'm not very upset.
I'm very upset.
I'm sure James is enjoying it, unless he fell asleep.
Probably fell asleep. But we covered it. We covered it. It's over.
Oh, that's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah. I'm him. I'm him. Who's I'm him for you?
I'm him is Randy Orton.
I'm him is the best in the world, CM Punk.
One guy came back from a broken freaking back.
Guy came back.
Beat the odds. And one guy went back to a job he got fired from. But him, right? Him.
71 million. Him.
Nah. Randy Orton. Him.
We'll be back next week. I think we'll have a full house next week.
You thought we were gonna have a full house for our meeting the other night.
That took an hour and
a half,
but we got it. We'll preview the in-season tournament. Well, we'll preview the finals because by the time we do a show next week, it'll be the finals. But we'll preview the finals. We will release the 2023 speaking nominations via nomination show. And more fun. We'll definitely be talking about the Eagles and the Niners. And, whatever other crazy stuff happens in the world, because there's never a quiet week. So
make sure you tune in Sunday. The Brother Boys will be live Sunday night after Sunday Night Football. After a long weekend, and we took a much deserved break on Sunday. I was miserable. I was sitting there trying to play video games. I was like falling asleep. I'm like, I can't even do this. And then the slate of football on top of it was a dog shit slate. It was arguably the worst slate of football I think I've ever seen. Like from top to bottom, there was 2 good games, and it was just misery. It was just all bad football, and I can't watch bad football. I watch enough bad football, like voluntarily watching the Jets. Like I can't do this with all of my football. That was shit. Fix your shit, NFL. Like that Giant Patriot game.
That was a horrible game.
Tommy DeVito. Hey, he's Italian.
Italian. He's our guy. He's our guy. All right. He's our guy.
I can't wait for Giant fans to fall in love with him and convince themselves that he's their quarterback.
I hope not. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right. Let's close up shop.
Yeah. From all of us to you, we say adieu and good.
Go Jets, go Nets.